Ritual Madness Podcast. The best of the underground. Make madness your ritual.
Good too, actually. You're like, I'm being honest. What's going on, folks? You know what it is, right? It's fucking Friday. We're watching all of this video. I don't care what you say. Do me a favor. Check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective. Let me make sure you guys on. Why don't you talk to them?
Check.
There we go.
Check.
All right,
Yeah. Check.
Do you guys sound okay in your headphones?
Yeah.
Loud enough and shit? If you need to go up or down, you're right in front there. Do me a favor, check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective, 3456 Minnehaha Avenue, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Contact for availability via Instagram.com/Lowbrow Saints. Always a fantastic place to go get some artwork done. Make sure you turn it up really loud so you can hear me breathing and slobbering on this microphone the whole time. Check out the Shred Den. Let me see here. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. I haven't had headphones on in a while. This just feels weird as fuck. 9100 85th Avenue, Avenue North, Suite 100, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, 763-350-2191. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, www.theshredden.net. If you're looking for fancy, pokey guitars, that's the place. Hey, and you know what? I wanted to say, local bands, if you're looking for a cool spot to sell your merch, Shredden is always a good spot to drop off some merch and some CDs and stuff like that. They've got their own little local section here in the guitar shop, which is fantastic. Also, if you're looking to do some design work, Narwhal Design Solutions, Justin Boney, Facebook, Instagram, the World Wide Web, Narwhal Design Solutions, Justin Boney at gmail.com. And welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. How you guys doing, man?
Us.
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Yeah. How was your week? It's fucking Friday. What's going on, you guys?
Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
Friday the
yeah. No
13th.
shit. Happy Friday the 13th. You guys axe murder anybody or anything fun like that?
Not yet.
Did you think about it?
Not
Oh, I
yet.
stabbed 3 people today already.
Did you think about it, or you actually?
Oh, no, it's professional.
Nice. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's the way you got to do it.
all business, no personal.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on, man. So the week was good. You guys had no issues.
Well, I mean, I work at a school. A kid decided to rip off a couple of, what is it, a thermostat, a badge reader, and the cover off of a radiator.
Was it just got pissed and broke some shit, or what?
Oh yeah, but I mean, to get those off the wall, you got to
gotta
pull
crank on 'em.
really. So I mean, this kid's like 6 years old.
Dang.
I'm not kidding, dude. I mean, working at a school is
He's got the master blaster strength, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he was kicking windows when I saw him, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, if that thing breaks, I'm gonna have to go into a room somewhere and scream.
Yeah, dude.
Because but yeah, that's probably the only that's the worst thing that's happened.
Yeah, yeah.
this
How about
week.
you boys? Anything exciting this week at all?
Not really.
No, not really.
My wife and the kid been sick as hell.
Oh, I hope you didn't bring me plague, you son of a bitch.
So. No, I didn't.
Why don't you do me a favor? Go around the table. Tell me who you are, what you do in the band.
He's an honorary bass player. I started this with him back in 2007, and he wanted to go play heavier metal than I'm capable of playing. So
Nice.
he took off and went to Beauty of Decay for a while. And then we went through a sling of bass
Dude,
players
you
and
look
came up
completely
with-
different from the last time I saw you, man. Holy shit.
We
I'm
figured you'd
standing
be
right next to him.
surprised.
I'm like, holy shit, dude. How you been,
We
man?
figured you'd be
Crazy,
surprised.
man. Yeah. Well, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
But he's stepped up to the plate and fills in. Like Tom goes out to the Ren because he runs a booth at Fest.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So he's out at Renfest September and October, and sometimes if we get some good offer for a show, he'll step up to the plate and fill in on bass for Tom. And then we've had the typical band vehicle problems, and then he's kind of stepped up to the plate and helped us with getting a vehicle.
Hell
and
yeah.
stuff. And earlier this week, Tom got a hold of me and said, "Hey, man, Tamira's got to do a pet sitting thing and isn't going to have the car, so we got to probably take an Uber or something." I said, "Give me 20 minutes," and I called him up, and he said, "Sure."
Nice. Very cool, man. That's the way to do it, man.
So now I'm thinking of, you know what? We used to open for that Total Fucking Blood band that had 2 drummers. Why don't we fucking go to rehearsal next time and do 2 bass players and see what happens?
It was pretty thick.
The extra low, man. Hell yeah.
That was pretty thick.
Yeah, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's fucking badass, man. Go ahead. Keep going around the table.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm Tom. I'm the bass player now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing really happened this week. I stabbed people for money. Like, legit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, body piercer,
Yeah.
ectomy tattoo, and
Nice.
piercing in Uptown. So,
Nice.
yeah, people pay me.
To cause them pain.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's go.
That's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm Al. I play drums. I've been in the band for 18 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you guys were around that long.
Oh, yeah.
Started
Oh,
2007.
Damn.
And then I played in the Rock and Roll Whores with Tom.
Yeah, Tom. The last time
Yeah,
you were here was
yeah.
a rock and roll horse.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a cold weather acid incident or something after that podcast?
Yeah, I
Like
was
there-
actually telling the story.
The what?
I took a bunch of acid and
Walked home.
Walked home from
From Pobs, yeah. Pobs over off of 65, yeah.
Didn't Johnny lose his hit that night though? Wasn't he
something
like?
like that. Yeah, like halfway
Like you
through,
took
he's
it and he went to go take it and like thought he took it but he lost it or some shit.
Yeah,
That's hilarious,
He
dude.
was just suffering the whole ride, the whole walk, and I was like, "This grass is comfy." I'm like, "Hey." It was like the girls' dorm at Northwest College or some shit. When
That's
I finally
awesome.
decided to take a break.
That's awesome.
Well, then when we first started, when we had first started as a band, we'd play a lot of shows with the Rock and Roll Horrors.
Yeah.
Al and Tom both played in that band, and shortly after that, there was the drunken incidents that always occur, and
Yeah.
we always yell at each other, "Fuck you! I'm not in this band anymore," and
Right.
stuff. So that happened in a situation with the Rock and Roll Horrors, and I snatched their drummer.
Right.
Okay, so what happened was there was Johnny decided to bumper tap Tom.
Yeah.
Johnny had a little bit too much to drink that night. Tom had, I think, a warrant,
Some shit.
something like that, for like unpaid ticket or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So his car got impounded. My drums and amp and guitar were in the back of the truck.
Yeah, all
It
the
was
gear.
sub-zero out. So we get the gear back. I'm looking at it because I owned like 80% of the gear in the band.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, thank God nothing cracked. I said, I'm going to get some cheaper amps.
Yeah.
Like a cheaper amp and stuff like that. And Johnny got pissed, and he fired me. Fired me from the fucking thing. And yet he's the guy who caused the fucking all that shit. And he didn't tap his bumper. He hit him at like, 30 miles an hour or something like that.
don't remember.
He fucked up the front of his car.
Good times right
Okay.
there.
So I got fired. I called Jeff. I'm like, hey, man, I'm no longer in the Horse. Johnny fired me. For what? This. Blah, 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 blah.
You need a new gig?
And he's like, okay, hang on. Let me talk to Evil. 5 minutes later, he's like, okay, you want to be in the band? So 5 minutes after I got fired from, 10 minutes after I got fired from the Rock and Roll Horrors, I was in Mommy Says No.
Nice.
And
That's
we
amazing.
were going through. We had a similar argument with our drummer at the time, who was Mike Robertson from the Quincy Punks.
Yeah.
And
Holy shit, that dude's been around forever.
yeah. And we for me, it was the coolest thing in the fucking world, man. I was like,
Yeah.
I started this band with this guy that was my favorite punk band since
Right.
forever, you
Yeah.
know. And down in South St. Paul, when all the punk rock kids would come and we'd party at my house and turn me on to the Quincy Punks, and
Yeah.
we'd go fucking see Code 13 and all of that bands at the Bomb Shelter. And it was like, it was amazing that he thought my shit was good enough that he would play drums on it.
Yeah.
So I was just fucking blown away.
Yeah.
And I had been hanging out with him because I got fired from work for a health problem. And he was moving, and I helped him move his records into his new apartment. And then I was hanging around with him all the time. And I was being a roadie for Tonnage because I knew I wanted to play music again. I
Yeah.
just didn't have a bass player.
Right.
But I had a guy that played drums,
Yeah.
and I played guitar. And I was roadieing for Tonnage because I made friends with Jeff Moen.
Yeah.
And they would come and pick me up, and I'd get into the shows, and I'd get to go see all these shows. And for me, it was a lot of fun because
Yeah.
I'd been a basically drug addict before that.
Right.
And he,
Any good drugs?
yeah, I used to be a heroin addict, a cocaine addict, and a meth addict.
Damn.
I've
the
been off all that shit.
trifecta, huh?
Yeah, all
There you
of
go,
that.
dude.
I've been off all
Well,
that shit over 20
congratulations,
years
man.
now.
Fuck yeah, congratulations. That's a hell of a ride, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was. The coming off of it clean was the fun part.
Yeah.
It really was like that Train Spotting movie, but I didn't see no babies coming after me.
Yeah. How long did it take you to kick?
A week and a half, I think, for the heroin. But then I originally, like a week before my best friend died from a heroin overdose, I sat at my dining room table and I said, I can't do this anymore. If we keep doing this, one of us is going to die.
Yeah.
I'm done, man.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, what are you going to do with the rest of that? And I was like, well, if you want it, go ahead. Exactly a week later to that date, I got a call at work from his sister that said he had died.
Wow.
And we were supposed to start recording an album that day, and all this shit. Because when I was coming off of meth and when I was on meth, like I was up 30 days in a row and shit. Back then, I would write a lot of poetry because I was inspired by Jim Carroll and all of that shit. And I had decided I'm going to put this to music. But that had always been, like back in 1993 and 94, I went to Music Tech. And took guitar lessons from Jeff Loven. I had a band called Magenta Lip Balm back then, and he was in that. And my other buddy was in that. We used to play at Ryan's and shit all the time, but we were kind of the laughing stock band. We were beginners.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Just fucking having fun.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then through all of the process of that and everything, it's like made it not being a drug addict through all of that stuff. And then when my wife and I got our first separation and divorce and my kid left, it was like, well, fucking my life's over anyway. Fuck this. And what actually pushed me back into that, because I lived down in South St. Paul and did a lot of drugs and coke and all of that shit then. I got raided in my trailer in Maplewood for having reptiles. And the health department guy that came in there and shit, and the cop, and they actually became my friends. But it was just, it was like an awakening call.
Yeah.
And I started figuring out how to make the music, and I started doing research online and everything, but I didn't go out to a lot of shows until I met Jeff Moen.
Yeah.
And then started putting the band together. And then it's been kind of an uphill swing since then.
Yeah.
It's more of, you've been in bands since forever,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you know, it's a fucking roller coaster ride, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And I don't know if I had the mental capability to take this roller coaster ride, but we're still together writing new songs, and it's, you know, been fucking 20 years.
Yeah. That's a hell of a journey, man, right there.
Yeah.
So how'd you come up with the name Mommy Says No?
Way back a long time ago, and the guys in Misery will come in here and tell me I'm full of shit. but I was a bad kid when I was a teenager. I was put into the nut ward when I was 14 years old for being incorrigible, because my parents would tell me to do something. I'd be like, fuck you, and I'd go out the door and go hang with all my friends and shit. And I was in Anderson shelter out in Stillwater in between court dates. And I was in there with this dude that I thought was the coolest motherfucker in the world, because he had this metal chain around his neck and a lock on it and shit. And his name was John Misery. That's what he told me it was.
Yeah.
And I've relayed this story with John, and he's gone, no, dude, that wasn't me. There was this other dude used to hang around with us all the time back then.
Yeah.
And I just don't think he wanted to go back and talk about bad shit back then. But he had always we always talked about these bands we were going to form.
Yeah.
And I was always writing in notebooks just different band names and shit. And he talked about he's going to have a band called Mommy Says No. And then when I started this, Mike Robertson was laughing, because he goes, well, if you're going to call it that, dude, do you know Misery used to be called that? And that put two and two together. But I was telling him, man, I've had this name since I was in Anderson shelter with this really cool punk rock dude. And I wanted to use it, and it wasn't being used, so I jumped on it.
Yeah.
And it's worked out.
That's hilarious.
And my whole life growing up, it's like, you can't play music. You're never going to make a living. You're not ever going to be good at that, blah, blah, blah. So Mommy Says No is kind of like, every time I try to do something, you think your parents are going to support you. And my parents have been slightly supportive.
Yeah.
But there's always been a hell of a lot of criticism behind it and shit, too. So it's like, Mommy Says No.
Right.
And then that's where the little dude with the, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
And like my boss at work, who I've known forever now, too, Bruce, he goes, well, you don't do anything because you like to. You just do everything out of spite. So
It's a hell of a way to live life, man. It really is.
Yeah.
You do accomplish a lot of shit going that way, too. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
so many times you want to fucking thump, you know, fuck you.
like 20 years ago, I lost my job at Twin Cities Reptiles, and I was working there 7 days a week. It was like the job of a lifetime. I worked there for free, basically. I'd trade Bruce for snakes, and then he'd pay me a real wage. And this is conversations I've actually had with my boss before. He goes, well, if I decided to do that, you would fucking die, dude, because you'd forget to eat. And it's been kind of cool, but when I lost my job, because I've been a type 1 diabetic since 1978, I'm on an insulin pump and a glucose monitor and shit.
Dude, how was that trying to deal with doing that type of drugs, man, and that heavy amount at that time? Holy shit, dude.
It's fun conversations when I go see my doctor.
He's like, how are you not dead yet?
Yeah, I never told him I was on it. And I'd go to my doctor's appointments and shit, and he'd be like, well, this is kind of wrong, and this is kind of wrong, and the last doctor appointment I just had, like, I've been diagnosed with COPD, I've been diagnosed with chronic congestive heart disease and a whole bunch of other shit, and Tom diarrhea, because he rides in the car next to me all the time, so he knows. But diagnosed with all of this shit, but look what I'm still able to do.
Right.
I have COPD and a big breathing problem, but I'm the singer for this band.
Yeah.
Like, they can tell you when we recorded that Dwellers Below, I had just gotten out of the hospital for lung shit. I was fucking laying on the floor in Will's studio going, hold on, let me breathe for a little bit before I stand back up.
Damn, dude.
And we've been on stage before, and I've had fucking low blood sugars. And, like, Club Underground was great because Josh usually knew right away. He'd go, oh, bring Jeff up a Coke.
Yeah.
But there's been numerous times where I've been on stage and that happens. The thing that gets me the worst with my diabetes, though, I think, was the booze. And these guys will tell you, I go
That's why I
from
learned all the lyrics.
not feeling buzzed to being, oh shit, that was way too much.
Well,
And
there's-
then I make a complete idiot out of
Yeah, yeah,
myself.
yeah.
There's been times that I've actually had to take over vocals because he's either forgot them or something happened
Yeah.
and somebody had to finish the song. So
I
I,
think
mean,
one
and
of
I'm playing drums and I'm
one
doing
of the,
one
one of the last times I think I saw you guys was at a Toys for Tots or some shit like
Yeah.
that, or one of the metal and punk rock
there's been
shows.
some
Rock
historically
shows.
drunk shows.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
fucking Oh, there was one of those where
Did you
half
get
of
super
you guys,
sick?
Yeah, and then half of you guys showed up at Twin Cities Reptiles the next day and made fun of me. It was fucking awesome. And then if it was the one with the barachos where we played with Los Barachos, those guys actually took me on my word because I said anybody that shows up at work tomorrow, I'll give a dozen crickets to, and
Yeah.
they fucking showed up.
That's
and
hilarious.
he comes up and he goes, Jeff, it's me from Los Barachos. Do you remember me from last night? And I was like, I knew who he was the minute he came in, but I was like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
He goes, well, we're here for our crickets. And it was funny as hell. And like I told everybody at work I was going to be on this podcast tonight too. And I said, you guys better be careful because I don't have to work on Saturday. I'm going to say some kind of crazy sales going on, and you guys are going to have to stop a lot of angry people.
I heard it on Ritual Madness
Yeah, it's on
podcast.
the
It's a
Ritual
deal.
Madness
Yep.
podcast, man. You got to do it.
Let me back up a little bit. Oogie Boogie Baby, tell me about that song in the video. It was awesome. That's a very cool video, man.
Our friend and Al plays in another band called Amnira. Amnira. He plays bass. Shane Smith, and I believe is that his girlfriend or his roommate?
No, that's his partner Whitney.
His
Whitney.
partner Whitney. She built
Yeah.
that dollhouse and everything. And Mercy Victor V and Kat Morgan,
Yeah.
who were in Apocalypse Theater, and
Yeah.
who
Yep.
when we went on tour, that's who we toured with.
Oh, nice.
They volunteered. They sat down with Tom and I and Al, and we kind of talked about it. And I said, let's make a video out of this song.
Yeah.
And they ran with it. Our artistic input with that was literally just, here's the song.
Yeah.
Let us know what to do. And they set everything up and did it. And that was V and Kat that put that all together, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, very cool,
And
man.
we were in the studio, and my daughter, God, she was still pretty young, came to the studio with us and had asked Will, I thought it'd be cool to have a little kid going Oogie Boogie Baby. That'll make it sound creepier.
Yeah.
And Will said, all right, yeah, that's cool. And then she recorded her own little song she made up, and we've thought about including that as a weird little psycho thing as a backing track.
Yeah,
or something.
dude, that's awesome.
That was all done with Will, where we record with Will a lot now, but that was Nano Taco Studios is 100% responsible for everything with that video.
Oh, nice, man. Nice.
And we're working on another one for one of the other songs I sent you.
Very cool, man. Very cool, man. I love it. I've been really trying to. I was talking to the band Boar today. I'm gonna play some of their stuff on another episode, and we were chatting about. Somebody else sent me their lyric video, and I just hit them up, said, "Dude, I really dig this video, man." And they're like, "Oh, that's the best one out of all the ones that we've done." And I said, minimum these days. I've done 2 podcasts ago. I went on this rant about doing minimum for video stuff for throwing it on YouTube, like just taking your album cover, some movie shit in the background moving around, and just maybe throw some lyrics in there or your contact information and just cycle between it while playing a tune. It's the most minimum thing you could do, but
It's pretty cool.
for every, you know what I mean? Like with this podcast, that's what I do pretty much for everybody who if they don't have videos, I take their music, put it to their album cover and just says, now play this tune, and then where you can listen to it,
Yeah.
So I'm like, with the next 2 tunes that we have, I did that with those.
Yeah, you sent me the one picture because Carl Dahmer, the artist,
Yep.
I bought a lot of art from him, and he did
Dude, his artwork looks super familiar to me.
Yeah, that's Carl Dahmer stuff, and I bought a ton of it from him, and I haven't used any of it other than the Digging Up Your Grave. We've got a big banner in the space, and it's going to be our album cover, and we've got shirts.
And Tomb with a View.
And then, and then we had originally came out with some stickers and some patches, which the first picture I ever bought from him, which was called Tomb with a View, which originally was going to be The Dwellers Below.
Nice.
But then COVID happened, and then the riot stuff originally happened in 2020, and that's where The Dwellers Below came from, with the whole underlying meaning.
Right.
That
Well,
name.
plus I'm an urban explorer, so I'm always in tunnels, caves, or stuff like that. So it's kind of a.
You ever get any trouble for doing any of that shit? They fuck with you? Do people show up and fuck with you at all?
Okay, the one thing I can talk about is we got caught in a cave over in Lilydale.
Yeah.
There were 250 of us
Jesus.
in the fucking cave.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good punk rock venue.
Yep. Actually, no. Echo Cave has been a punk rock venue. I've gone to punk rock shows in Echo Cave over by the old Brickyard. But we were in a cave over in Lilydale. There were 250 of us. We got busted because kids. We were told we were telling them, leave one at a time. Leave one at a time.
Yeah.
They were leaving in like clumps of 10.
Oh.
So they got caught. We got caught. Turns out St. Paul and Minneapolis actually have a cave unit
Oh,
for like paramedics and firefighters. And they came in.
Man.
They came in. All right, you guys got to go. Well, to get out of where they found us, you've got to go down a 2-story hill of rubble that is the old Anchor Hospital.
Wow.
Okay, and so we all did that, and then we're on the way out, and this one guy's like, "Have a good night, guys. Have a good night." They didn't bust us, like take us to jail. They just said, "Get out."
Yeah.
So we all left. And one of the guys behind me was drunk, and he's like, "Our maps are better than yours." And the guy from the cave, he's like, "Yes, they are." I mean, because he's seen them, he knows.
Yeah,
it was hilarious though. 250 of us in a cave.
That's insane.
You
Man.
know,
What a good time! What a good time, though, man. Holy shit!
Oh yeah, but no, I went to a just not even a year ago. I went to a punk rock show in Echo Cave, and they had a generator out there and everything, lights,
That's
amps,
rad as shit, man.
yeah, everything. It was
That's
it was some cool, and wasn't like just reggae. It was hardcore punk.
Yeah.
So it was the fast DRI.
Yeah.
You know, and it was really cool. It was really cool to do that, but I'm surprised that one didn't get busted. You could hear it. You could hear it out by the road.
Yeah,
So yeah.
way out.
So I like to do this one. It's kind of a history of it. I know, Tom, you kind of brushed on yours a little bit, but I like to go around the table and just kind of ask everybody, like, what was going on in the house when you were a kid? Like, what were mom and dad listening to? What was in the air? Brothers, sisters, who was pushing you towards punk rock, towards rock and roll, towards the heavier side of music? It never usually starts right off the bat into full sprint. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It kind of was. I was born in the 80s in LA.
Yeah.
And my mom was bartender at Troubadours.
Nice.
So, like, she brought me to Dead Kennedys when I was like 4.
There you go.
And, I mean, my first babysitter had like a 3-foot green mohawk. So it was pretty quick. Like, they moved one of the beverage coolers out so my mom wouldn't miss work. And they put my little, like, car seat or whatever under the bar. And then they would everyone would stop by. Hey, what's going on, Tommy? Blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, I mean, we left L.A., like, during the riots there. Like, finally our house got, like, fucked up for, like, a week.
Rodney King riots, that shit?
Yeah, and nobody touched our house because my mom was,
What's that, 92, 93, 94, somewhere? When was that?
1989.
Really?
Let me look it
No.
up.
I don't
Let me
remember.
look it up. LA Riot.
94.
I don't know.
I'm
93,
pretty sure-
94.
I want to say that too. But
92.
92. I don't remember. Dude, I was little. I got
92.
convinced.
1992.
Like, I got
bet you that's what
convinced
it is.
that
92.
Minnesota
Yep,
had
92. So,
Crazy, dude. Yeah.
Right
So
around
92,
That's
yeah.
when we,
I
that's
was
when we
14.
came back.
I was
I think it was-
14
Yeah,
years
I was
old.
19,
I
I
was
think.
little. But,
Crazy, dude.
yeah, and so that was my real influence.
So you had the vibrations,
Yeah.
like you were getting bombarded by vibrating
Hollywood, West
bottles
Hollywood,
and
just
fucking.
hanging out.
Yeah, dude, that's craziness.
And I didn't really even learn any of that until I was basically had to go into the bomb shelter.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to this badass punk rock venue, Mom. She's like, oh, I'll talk to you when you get back, blah, blah, blah. And then that's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
She was just
Sorry,
like,
chat. Seth and Jackie said Sublime guys, and that's funny that, that you say that, dude. I was like trying to remember that lyric part. 1992, riding on the streets. Where were you? That's fucking. That's hilarious. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No,
That's ADHD right there,
well,
buddy.
It was Long Beach. Everyone was right there, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. So
Damn, dude, you're lucky you didn't get stolen and sold on the black market.
my mom sold drugs. That's one reason our house didn't get touched.
There
for a
you go.
week. And
Awesome.
then all the outside people from different cities came in and they're like, let's riot too.
Yeah.
And we came home and all our windows were busted and shit. And my mom was like,
Time to go.
We probably should go now.
Yeah.
And she's originally from Minneapolis here, so.
Oh, so it was just for her coming back.
Yeah.
Now, musically, like, what was she listening to? What was in the house?
She listened to a lot of fucking punk rock. You know, everyone that time, especially Troubadours, was listening to Rolling Stones shit. You know? But yeah, I mean, she brought me to Dead Kennedys when I was 4.
Now, how about
the day before I was born?
Yeah.
She was at a Black Flag show. Like, for reals.
Rollins era?
In 81.
Yeah, that would have been Rollins.
Like, get in the van. Like, she gave me that when I was, like, maybe 15, the book.
Yeah.
And there was, like, pictures of the show and shit. So
that's pretty rad.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty fucking rad right there, boy.
So.
Hell yeah, man. How about what pushed you to? I mean, obviously, the vibrations around you. You got to be drawn towards it, you know. But
yeah, I don't know, really. I mean, I guess the first band class in school, my mom's like, "You should do some of that," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Because I couldn't be in the choir because I can't sing.
What'd you play?
Oh, because I couldn't sing in the choir, mostly because I didn't want to, and I just goofed off. They were like, "You can be in the jazz band." With all the other like potheads and stuff, and we basically turned into like the pep band.
Yeah,
we played at like sporting events for our school and in the community center. But they lumped us as a jazz band, and we just
were you doing rhythm from that point on, or what? Were you doing?
Yeah, basically played bass in there.
Okay.
It was we just played like 3-chord shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of blossomed from there. And Buddy in Frogtown was like selling all this shit in his studio, and we bought a bunch of it, and that's where it started basically.
Yeah.
First apartment, you know. I mean, I played in high school and shit. But yeah, just played fucking.
Just snowballed into it.
Basically, yeah.
Nice. That's pretty easy, man. You know,
it's been there the whole time, so it's just like
hell yeah.
I can't really remember a time when there wasn't music.
Yeah.
You know, and my mom was always just like,
yeah,
let's do some music.
Yeah.
You know, get you into some shit.
Yeah. See, I always wonder about that. You know what I mean? Because I'm the one in my household that listens to music the most. Like my daughter, when she was little, I always had her on my lap watching videos, or we're always listening to music. Yeah. So I noticed that she takes after me a ton more. Hears all the lyrics, loves the grooves of things. You know what I mean? Like really follows music. Like she wakes up, she plays music. Where my wife, she loves music, but she's not like the person to go to it right away, right? You know, in the morning. Where I posted this question earlier today on Facebook. I was like, how does music speak to you? You know what I mean? Like, and everybody has their, like, depends on what kind of music it is. And it's like just music in general. You know what I mean? Yeah. When it speaks to you and it's in you, like you don't even need to have music on because it's already fucking there. My wife is like, why do you always tap on shit? It's because I have grooves inside of me that need to get the fuck out. And if they don't, I'm sitting here just like, you know? Yeah. Josh Kellerman said it the best too. He's like, there isn't it. He's like, unless it has to be shut off. I'm always, and I go, I bet you could break into song at any moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's just guys like us. That's how it is, man. How about anybody else want to go?
Well, growing up, my dad was like rock and like early stuff like Sabbath, heavy stuff. And my mom was like, so my dad was rock, blues, and folk. And my mom was like rock, kind of jazz fusion and blues.
Yeah.
So I had a heavy blues, but like by the time I was 6, I was into like Steely Dan's Asia album, you know. But then I heard like Black Sabbath, and I'm like, oh, I like that. And then MTV came around, and I got into, progressed, it's like, okay,
Dire Straits.
No, well, more like Def Leppard, and then it's like, keep going. Then I got a Metallica. I got Master of Puppets.
Right.
And then I met my friend from high school, Sir Lundberg, and he got me into like Carcass and like the early Morbid Angel.
Yeah.
That's the best version of them. Because Pete Sandoval's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
And then
I like Rich Brunell with them back then too, man.
He was good too because he was also in Death after Gene Hoglan left.
Rich Brunell was?
I think he
Guitar
was.
player?
Oh no, I'm thinking drummer.
No,
there was a Richard. I can't remember what his name was.
I can't remember.
Anyway, but he got me into that. Carcass, early Napalm Death with Lee Dorian on vocals, which I love. And got me in all that stuff. I didn't really get into Deicide, but I got into like Sepultura and stuff like that. So he had introduced me to the heavier stuff. And then I got into like Pantera. That was my first major show.
Yeah.
Was Pantera and Prong in '95 at Float Right Park.
Nice.
Prong, because I was like thrash
Yeah.
up to that point, and Pantera and like the fast, heavy shit. And then I heard Prong, and I'm like, ooh, what's this? And I realized you didn't have to be fast and heavy all the time. You can get
Solid.
that lockstep groove, dude. And then, I started playing drums when I was 9. And because I was a violent fucking kid. Ma was a meth head back in the 80s. Oh, okay. I guess you could say she was a crank fiend.
Sure.
Back then.
That's what it was.
Yeah, crank. But Dad was always a pothead. But yeah, so I started playing drums, and then by 12, I got my first drum kit. And at the end of high school, I finally got like a real band together. We were called Cerebral Delusion.
Nice.
The guy already had the name and shit like that. So then I was in that, and then we changed our name to, it was kind of like grunge metal.
Yeah.
Because that was popular. We didn't want to be Nirvana, but at the same time, we didn't want to be like,
Too heavy.
Too heavy. Plus, I didn't have double bass. I've never played double bass. I've always been in bands that never required it.
Sure.
So we kind of made our own thing, and then it's just like in bands off, But yeah, the heavy thing, the thing that pushed me to punk was I was friends with Bob Wood from the Quincy Punks' youngest brother, Michael. And he got me into him because, you should hear my brother's band. And I listened to it, and I'm like, this is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
And then I got into, like Ramones, Offspring, a bunch of different things. And it was great because it's like, it's still heavy, but it's not.
It's a different type of heavy.
It's a different type of heavy. And I always tell people the heaviest music I ever heard is the Robert Johnson recordings.
There you go.
Because it's just him and his guitar.
Dirty as fuck.
Yeah, dirty as fuck. I mean, like they say in the movie Sinners, man, them recordings back then sound like dog shit, and they do. But there's a
Scratchy,
heaviness.
I'd love
There's
it.
a heaviness to that music.
It sounds like he sold his soul. That's what that shit sounds like to me, man. It's just crusty.
It is. But the real legend is that he went away for 6 months and actually learned how to tune and play guitar. Plus, he had really long fingers.
Yeah.
So he could do like the bass and then get like
he was able to do like weird chords that other people could. I heard they talked about one guy that he really admired that he followed and went away for however long. And,
wasn't that Sunhouse, Jeff?
It wasn't Sunhouse. It was another guy. Sunhouse kind of came in on the tail end of it.
Okay.
Sunhouse was
I know
around
who
for a
you're
long
talking
time.
about. I know
that
who
dude.
you're talking
That
about.
was a sad story. Sunhouse. That dude was.
Lightning Hopkins is one of the older guys. I'm just trying to rehearse like the acoustic blues that I used to try to learn. Because it's most of my introduction to the blues, and like I've been a Howlin' Wolf fan since forever and stuff, and I was a bouncer at the Blues Saloon and a bartender until the Blues Saloon wasn't the Blues Saloon anymore.
Yeah. St. Paul Blues Saloon?
Yeah. That was the best job I ever. I mean, I got paid to sit at the door and hit a clicker.
Yeah.
And then stand at the top of the stairs and tell people 3 times the size I was that, hey, I haven't had a drink yet, man, and all I got to do is go like that, and you fall down the stairs, so just go home and come back tomorrow.
Right.
But I got turned into so much cool music coming through. And it's so my long history with that is a little fractured because I don't know who came first, Robert Johnson, Lightning Hopkins, because I don't pay attention.
Right around
to
the same time.
history.
Those two came around
I
the same
just like
time.
the music, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been very fortunate because I've got some, like one of my biggest idols blues-wise is Papa Chubby.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, I've gotten to meet him. And when I went sober and I quit heroin cold turkey, I listened to one of his songs every single fucking day when I was starting to really get bad.
Yeah.
And one of my big things about when I went sober, I was like, I want to tell him someday, thank you, because of what that song did. And then my other punk rock idol was Jeff Dahl.
Yeah.
And he had a song called Just Amazing that I used to listen to too, trying to get through all of that.
Yeah.
I got to tell him thank you too, and him and I are still friends to this day, and me and Papa Chubby are still friends.
That's awesome, dude.
So it's kind of like they say don't meet your heroes. Well, fuck, I met mine, and I still talk to him.
Right.
So what do you mean?
Right.
You know, and it's just it's amazing to me that I've been so fortunate, and just like I'm fucking 55 now, man, and we're still going in a fucking room and writing silly ass punk rock songs.
Right.
Like he came up with a riff last week, and we give each other shit all the time. He made some comment like, dude, we just spent fucking 45 minutes jamming on a tune. We're going to leave and not fucking remember when we come back. So
Marijuana
for
affects your memory.
about every hour, I would text him the next day, hey, dude, I still remember that riff. Hour and a half later, I still remember that riff, dude. Oh, shit, now it's got lyrics. And I started writing some really stupid lyrics about smoking pot with Tom, and I sent him the lyrics. And I'm like, I remember this song now. We're fucked. But
That's awesome.
it's like we're still having fun coming up with riffs and writing shit. And it's like, it's almost becoming, as much as you look back and you're like, oh, I spent a lot of fucking money on this. I probably shouldn't have because this didn't go the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
And all that. But fuck, man, I'm still having fun.
Yeah.
You know, and it's we're still writing.
Yeah.
And we're ready to put out another record. It's just a money thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, just like everybody else's problem, it's a fucking money thing.
Right.
You know? But it's the only problem. You know,
Right.
it's not like we don't have the material. It's not like we don't have the artwork.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking money thing.
Yeah.
And we're already stacking on top of, okay, well, once we get the money to put this one out, we're going to have another one ready to go.
Right.
Gotta have that catalog ready to go.
Hell
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
dude.
Well, I mean, we have one that we've never really fully released.
Yeah.
We've released songs off of it, but we've never released it all. And I mean,
It's a good album.
It's a good
man.
album.
It's well put together, and I could put it out right now, and it would be a satisfied album. But that's not who our bass player is. And
Yeah.
while Matt Von Endy, who we recorded it with, has said numerous times, you know, you can always come over and we'll just redo the whole album. You
Yeah.
can put the bass lines back on there, and then you'll feel more comfortable with it. And I think that would be a lot more fair to Tom.
Right.
At the same time, some of those songs are perfect how they are. So looking at, we worked really hard to get this result.
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck with it anymore.
Yeah.
But it might be better, but it might not.
Yeah.
And
You
so
never fucking know. That's just how it works,
I've
man.
gone through that, and we've re-recorded "Mommy Says No" songs.
Yeah.
That he played with me on.
Yeah.
And I liked those versions, and then so that had something to do with whether or not I like these new versions
Right,
of them and stuff.
right.
Because we've got tons of shit that's recorded, we just haven't ever released.
Right.
And there's that whole album which was going to be like our third album or whatever, and then we never put that out. And then when he joined,
Was that
we-
COVID time or was that
It
before
was
that?
right before COVID time.
Okay.
It was like, okay, so we put out.
no, that was
Hot
about what, 2012, 2013?
2007 was Hot Water Burn Baby, or no, 2007 was the debut, which isn't really available anymore. And then we came out with Hot Water Burn Baby,
Yep.
and then Eep,
Love
Yep.
it.
and then
That one.
the Bats About You would have been the one after Eep, but that was kind of a bleh. And then when we recorded and came out in 2020 with The Dwellers Below with Tom. When Tom joined, we started working on one song we were writing together.
Yeah.
Because I've always figured if you're all in a band together and you've got a new guy who's trying to learn all the old parts, it makes it more fun if he can have something to do with writing new stuff together.
Right.
And so that became the catalyst for putting together a whole new album, because all of a sudden, hey, this song's turning out. We're writing this together. This is working out really well.
Right.
And then it's just kept going, and we went and recorded another one, and we're getting ready to go record some more.
Yeah.
And it's been, I mean, I would love to have made more money and been able to go on more tours, et cetera, but
Yeah.
life just didn't have that in the cards yet.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to be the 60-year-old man running around in the wheelchair still playing, you know?
Well, hey, that's life goals right there, man. You gotta keep going for that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the key, I guess.
Well, the guys in high school that I've reconnected with thanks to Facebook and everything, and I graduated in 1988.
Yeah.
I graduated in Brussels, Belgium, in an international high school. So none of us were probably ever going to see each other again, because we're all going to different countries or different states or whatever. And they've all said that they think it's awesome that I'm still playing guitar. They're just surprised I'm not on a bigger stage,
Right.
because that's who I was back then.
Right.
and it's still who I am now.
Yeah.
And
You're a
then-
lifer, man.
Yeah. I'm a lifer that never knew any of you guys, really, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I came in, my wife and I were driving around trying to find the shred den one day.
Yeah.
And I finally found it after we drive around. I'm like, no, you got to go this way.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you got to go this way. And I was talking, I believe it was Natanic was working that
Yep.
day. And he's become one of my favorite fucking posters, man. He posts the shit on there. And him and I aren't friends on Facebook just because I don't think we've really personally introduced each other.
Yeah.
But he follows mine. He says no, and half of me thinks the reason he fucking does this is because he wants to make fun of us.
Right.
And it's funny as hell, dude. It's I
totally
love
not.
that shit.
That's what's so funny about the guy is
Yeah.
because I didn't know him from anything.
Yeah.
I just saw him playing with other people that I knew.
Yeah.
And so I just jumped in there and was like, "Oh, dude, this is ridiculous." So then I would just, throw little things in there, and I
Yeah.
noticed that he didn't get mad at me doing it. He was a
Yeah.
good sport. And then when I met him, he was even cooler, and I'm like, "This dude's awesome,"
Yeah.
And then I have him on, one of the worst times he gets blackout drunk and pulls his ass out on camera, and doesn't remember a damn thing about it. And then I work with him too, so I'm like, "Dude, do you remember what happened last night?" He's just looked at me and went, "No."
Got it on camera.
Well, he's sober.
Oh
now.
yeah. Well, here's the funny thing. Right around that time is when Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson, right? And his bass player in Glutton for Punishment, Jesse from Incinerate, right?
Yeah.
They're watching the fight, and it was delayed, so it kept fucking up the stream. So every time you'd watch it, it would break for a little bit, and it would be stuck on the screen. Well, Mike Tyson's doing an interview, and he's like warming up, and it stops and freezes as he turns around, and the camera pans down, and he's in his jock, in his nut protector, and he turns around, and his ass is hanging out. So Rob Carlson tells me, "Yeah, Jesse made me rewind that a whole bunch." So as I'm watching the video and I'm like, "God, I got to take this out. I don't want Nate to feel bad having his ass out." He don't even, he don't remember because it was like he was seeing straight, and then all of a sudden he was, fucking sideways, halfway through the podcast. And then, so I'm looking at this, at the footage, and I get it, and I see him pull his pants down. He's like right here, and I can see his ass, right? And I know the camera's catching him, you know what I'm saying? So I'm switching from camera to camera, and I got a perfect shot of him putting his ass out, and I go, "Dude, if you touch your ass to that microphone, you're buying it, and I'm jamming it up your ass." You know what I mean? So, and he's looking that way, but he's looking at, Braden over here, and he's slowly, putting. So I caught it, and I just rewound it when he's pulling his pants down, and I was like, "This is for Jesse" at the end of it, and then I asked him about it. He never remembered. He never said anything until he was sober, and then he apologized, and then it's like, what a good fucking guy. Seriously, What's crazy is that November of 2024, him and I partied our asses off together to where like we were up for a day or so. You know what I'm saying? And I hadn't partied like that in years, And I was like, "Yep, I can't do that anymore." And I look over at him, and he's like, "Woo!" So every time I saw him, he's like, "You ready to party?" And I'm like, no, dude. No. I'm good. And he's like, "Come on, man. Come on. Let's go party." And I'm like, no. That ain't going to happen. And then when he got sober, I stayed with him for 6 months. I just fucking didn't drink and party with him, for 6 months. So, but that's how it is, man. He's a great dude. Fantastic guy, man.
Yeah,
Fantastic
that shit's
guy.
funny as hell.
The one thing I like about him is the fact that, like, how many amps he's gone through.
Yeah.
And he sit there, he's like, "This one sucks. It's a Marshall circuit." I don't think it's the circuit, really. I think it's the output tube that he just doesn't get along with.
Right.
Because, he's always talking about his Triple X.
Yeah.
And that thing sounds great because it's the PV version of the Mesa. But he's got 6L6s in it. Whenever he does an EL34, it's like a mid-range push.
Yeah.
And I don't think he likes that. And I mean, I find it funny that he's like, "This amp sucks. This amp sucks. Posers use this amp." And it's hilarious watching him do it because it's like, at first I was like, "What is this guy's problem?" Now I'm like, "Oh, he's taking the piss." He's totally just being funny.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I enjoy about it is the fact that now it's like I look at it, I'm like, sometimes it's hard to see it, to tell, especially online, with the way people write things, if they're serious or not, and you kind of got to have a filter. It's like, okay, he does this all the time. He's totally just
the
fucking
other
around,
big thing to think about with everything he's saying about being in a local band, how many local bands is he in?
Exactly. You know, I said one time he says, being in a local band. I'm like, says the guy from a local band, and he puts a thumbs up on it. You know, so
It makes it fun, but at the same time, if you listen to what he's saying, he's got somewhat of a point too, man, because it's not just go post and we're fucking total perpetrators of this because we're lazy as fuck. We're potheads, man.
Right.
So we're, especially with one vehicle, if we can use it.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily going to take the bus to go put up flyers, man.
Right.
Like I said earlier, I'm 55 now, man.
Yeah.
If I got a buddy that'll do it for me, here you go. Thank you. I'll pay you to go do this, man.
Here's a joint, man.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't have that energy anymore. I got to get up and sing and play guitar, man. That's a fucking heart condition and shit. That takes a lot out of me. What do you mean I got to go do this?
Right.
So there's a bit of that. But the shit that he's saying is if every band actually fucking listened to some of that critique and applied it to themselves, our local scene would all of a sudden become a lot fucking tighter and a lot better.
Yeah.
You know,
it's so split down the goddamn middle, anyways, man. Really, it's really sad to say. You know, when it comes to the music scene, because it's fluctuated for so long.
Every couple of months it rotates to a different little area, and it's all music, man. Yeah. We all wanted to play music when we were growing up. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been doing this for this long.
Right.
Let's all have a fucking great time together.
Right. I gave Nate a pass on it. I said, you're no longer, if you go out of the Twin Cities, that means you're a regional band now.
Yeah.
I said if you go to Wisconsin, you're no longer a local band. You're a regional band. So that's how he can take the piss out of everybody. So it only applies to so many bands if you think about it. Right. You know, if you've gone to Wisconsin to play any fucking show, you're regional, so you don't fall into that category anymore.
We're fucking regional, man. We played in Vegas. We played in Arizona.
Yeah.
We played in Oklahoma.
Texas. And Wisconsin.
I want to tell him
Texas.
I want to tell him the story about Vegas. Okay, so we played the Double Down Saloon.
Yeah.
There's a metal bar right next door.
Yeah.
I'm outside smoking weed with this skater guy, and me and our
that
bass
was Bob
player.
Steers.
Was that Bob? Guy, Bob Steers? Okay, so I'm smoking weed with him, and I'm in Vegas, and this guy comes out looking like Vinnie Paul.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's got to be a impersonator. Comes, hey, how you guys doing? Where you guys from? Oh, we're from Minnesota. Oh, I've been up there. You know, all that stuff. You want to hit this? Yeah, sure, hit it. He was with Pat Lockman, the singer from Damage Plan.
Oh, really?
I thought it was an imposter. A friend of mine used to dance at the clubhouse. She's like, wait, were you at the Double Down? I'm like, yeah. She's like, no, that was him. So I didn't fanboy because I'm like, this has got to be
because you weren't sure if it was him. Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, I met Vinnie Paul.
Right.
You know, and it's like he was just the nicest guy. Yeah. And I mean, I offered the bowl to Pat, and he's like, nah, I'm a beer dude. Yeah. Okay, cool. You know, but yeah, they were totally nice. They came up to us. We didn't talk to them. And it was that whole tour was magical because like we got to stay in Bisbee, Arizona.
How was that, man?
Oh, Bisbee's awesome.
The whole thing, the whole setup for all of that was awesome because, like I had mentioned before, I had made friends with Jeff Dahl. Yeah. And I got to play with him at his 50th birthday or his Leaving USA show because he relocated to Hawaii, moved back to family stuff, and then he came back for his drummer Russ's birthday. Russ and I had made friends. I talked my dad into loaning me the money, and my son lived in Arizona, so I kind of had hey, I got to go see my son. Can I borrow this money?
Right.
And I got to go play Rockstar for a weekend. I got to fly down in an airplane, take a cab to a motel, hang out in this motel, take a cab to the fucking club, jump up on stage, play one song on guitar, get off stage, go home to the cab, get up the next morning and have a day to kill in Arizona by myself. Yeah. And then, I did something with my son and my ex-wife back then, and then jump in an airplane and come back to Minnesota.
That's crazy.
I thought I was a fucking rock star, man, because, it's like the worst performance of my life. Yeah. Scared as hell. I'm standing on stage playing Jeff Dahl's goddamn guitar right next to him, and I felt like a fucking idiot, man. And a friend of mine videotaped it, and I look at that shit now, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I look like a fucking moron. Yeah. But that started my inspiration to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. And every couple of years, I get these amazing fucking chances to do this cool shit with my creativity.
Oh, yeah, man.
On Hot Water Burn Baby, what made me want to write scary music was fucking, been into horror movies and B movies my whole life.
Right.
Well, I've been able to work like our first album, Hot Water Burn Baby, came out. We got Ari Lehman, the original Jason, sang on 3 of those songs with us.
That's awesome.
And it was like I gave him a bag of weed, and he slammed the rest of our bottle of Jack Daniel's Black that we had, and that's what he fucking charged me. And it was fucking awesome, you know. And it was like, this is just cool as fuck.
Yeah.
And the Crypt Keeper, he does the intermission on our album for us, where he goes, well, you know, if this becomes really big, you guys might get in some legal trouble, because he goes, I can take pictures and sell these pictures and stuff, but he goes, I can't really use that voice and do characters in that voice.
Wow.
But I'd be happy to do it for you. And I was like, well, yeah, we're a local band. I don't, you know, it's not going to be the. So he did all of that for nothing, because I went to Crypticon and paid him $20 for a picture.
That's rad, dude.
And so I've gotten to do all this really fucking badass shit, you know? And then on our Eep record, I was at Capitol, and they fucking had this $8 Sears kids guitar. And I made a bet with Billy and Eric at Capitol that they're like, I'm going to go record on the album with this, because we were making an album. And they're like, no, you won't. And I'm like, the fuck I won't. And I went in and we made this song called Eep. Now, if you go on CD Baby and you look at all of the stats of all of our songs on there and which ones have been downloaded and played the most and stuff, Eep, the most stupidest song I've ever written in my life, is the one that has made us the most digital money.
That's
and been
awesome,
downloaded and used in videos the most. And
it's
it
usually
just
the
makes me
case, though, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's like, there's no way in hell I could ever do that song again as a cover, you know? It's like, I could try, but it's never going to turn out that same way again.
Right. Fucking lightning in a bottle, huh?
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, then we had on EP, we also had Eric Gales, I think.
Oh, yeah, Eric Gales, who just won a fucking Grammy. So little old Jeff, who's, you know, on fucking disability and hasn't done anything right with his life, my band released a fucking song a couple of years ago with Eric Gales on it on guitar, you know? And it's like, well,
what'd you post today? He won a Grammy, right? That's what you said?
Yeah, for Sinners. Yeah. For the song Elijah, it's an acoustic song in Sinners, he just won. And then 2 years ago, or last year, he was nominated for a Grammy for his album, Crown, or a tribute to Lightning Hopkins. And he's been...
How'd you hook up with that cat?
Through Capitol. He was in town for some, I think, medical stuff, and he had needed some money, so he went down to Capitol and asked if he could do guitar lessons. Well, I've been listening to Eric Gales since I was 18 years old, living in the Mission. I lived at the Union Gospel Mission, and we'd go down to Rockheads all the time. And I bought an Eric Gales cassette because I read guitar magazines. And I'd listened to him ever since then. All of a sudden, I'm sitting this far away from him, and this guy's going, okay, play this. And I'm like...
Just stunned.
And he's playing it upside down and backwards.
Yeah. And he would record it, and he would give it to me.
What year was that at Rockheads?
Oh, God, dude. Fucking 80s.
Okay.
80s and fucking...
I used to work there for a bunch of years.
Yeah. I used to come in 1988 when I moved back here from Belgium. I lived right around the house, at the apartments he lives in right now. And I used to go in there and sell my shit and buy shit from them guys all the time.
Yeah, Whitey was all right, man.
Did you work there when Molly worked there? Molly was like this punk rock chick that made me a bunch of Johnny Thunders CDs and turned me on to early Hanoi Rocks and shit.
Oh,
she had this really cool cat tattoo on her arm and stuff.
Bigger girl?
No.
I don't know if I know her.
And then when I moved, I stopped going to Rockheads, obviously, but I'd still gone. I went there forever, man. That was we used to go buy that fucking stupid Rush when I was 15 years old. We'd have to wait for the bus down the fucking right around the corner on Rockheads and stuff, because I was going to treatment at the fucking hospital there. Yeah. And we'd fucking run in there and buy Rush. We'd all be sitting out waiting for the fucking bus.
Dude, that guy had a box of the old school emo poppers.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what they were. They were these little things, right? And I'm like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, what the fuck did they do with these? Dude, no, here's the thing. Is I'm fucking with it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm pulling the end of it, and I'm looking at it, and I just cracked it. And, you know, they go pop like that. Yeah. Dude. Right to the face. I took a whole shot. Oh, like this. And I'm standing in there, and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, and I'm going, what the fuck is this shit, man? I'm like going, whoa. Well, all the gay dudes is coming to get that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Fucking loosen up their
makes you
buttholes.
relax.
Yeah. Loosen their buttholes up and let them go for it, man. I never knew what he was talking about. He goes, the little white things in the cartridge down below. I'm like, okay, and so I would just give him, here you go. This is how much they are, whatever. Same with crack pipes. The dude the Whitey's brother, Mike.
Yep.
We used to work at the one on University, and him and I, Mike the Pipe. That's where I got. I gave that nickname to one of my other buddies who was drunk one night swinging a pipe around, but he's like the most harmless dude ever, and I'm like, you're the new Mike the Pipe. And he's like the timid dude, you know what I mean? We went on tour with us in 04 and fucking stayed up for like 4 days, and then fucking finally passed out in the hotel, and I wrapped him like a mummy with toilet paper. It was great.
Remember how how Rockheads like branched out and became aliens?
Yep.
Okay.
I set up that store down
So
my,
you know Jess then?
Yeah.
Jess?
Yep.
I knew her younger brother.
Yeah.
So she was with Steve Martin.
Yep. Had kids with him.
Had kids with him.
Yep.
And then got with the owner of Rockheads
Whitey.
and then ended up doing that. Now, here's the weird thing. Steve also works for the St. Paul Public Schools.
Oh, that's crazy.
As an engineer like I am. So I ran into him.
Small
I'm like,
world, yeah.
He's like, Al? I'm like, hey, I mean, but yeah, it's I knew Jess through her younger brother, and then Jen, who used to run the one on West 7th.
Yep.
I know her too.
Yep.
So yeah, so it's like it's weird how small that whole this whole
Yeah,
world
yeah.
is because
Yeah,
Talk about Slither.
yeah, it's fucking nuts, man. I got 4 free tickets to Kiss when they came back with their makeup on at the Civic Center. The lighting guy and the sound guy walked into Rockheads, and I was hanging out, and Jess was upstairs, and I'm hanging out, and I see the dude's polo shirt with the embroidered Kiss logo on it. I was like, hey man, cool shirt. I go, they're playing down there, and the guy goes, yeah, I'm the light guy, he's the sound guy. Oh yeah, what are you guys up to? We're looking for some smoking accessories, and I'm like, well, fucking, I can help you out, And we had just got these these plastic hookah bong deals, and they're like, there's like a circle with 2 fucking square deals on it. It went this way. The bowl was on top, and it had multiple tubes, right?
Right.
So I'm like, well, what are you guys trying to get into? And they're looking at these things, and they're like, we're just going to get rid of it anyway. We're headed towards Canada. We would, the band doesn't get high, but we like to get high, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Well, what are you looking for, So they're pointing at this. Well, what kind of deal can you give us? And I'm like, what kind of tickets can you give me? And I just said it just to say it. And he goes, well, I mean, that really depends on what kind of deal you can give me. And I go, okay, so we're at a stalemate here, you know what I mean? And I go, well, I'll tell you what, depending on what you can offer me, I'll run upstairs and I'll ask my manager, which is Jess at the time, And she used to party like a rock star. So we'd always be high at the fucking shop all the time, smoking weed, burning incense and whatnot. And so I run upstairs and I go, Jess, there's 2 guys, the sound guy and light guy for fucking Kiss. They want to give us tickets for this fucking thing. What do you think? And she goes, well, if I get half of whatever they give you. And I go, okay, so what kind of deal? Well, I'll tell you what, if they can give us 4 tickets and 4 backstage passes, 2 for me, 2 for me and my kid, because Steve's kid was a huge Kiss fan at the time.
Derek?
The boy.
Derek,
yeah,
yep.
So she said, just give it to him. So I said, okay. So I go, well, here's the deal. If you can get me 4 tickets, I can give this to you. And the guy goes, I'll do you 4 tickets, 4 backstage passes. And I'm like, cool, man, not a problem. I'm fucking trying to play that poker face, cool. Dude, So I wrap it up. I give it to him, and I've been a Kiss fan since fucking 75, I think. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, freaking out. They leave. Now we go to the show, dude, right? And Kiss is one of my biggest fucking bands ever. And I walk by the sound booth and shit, and the dude goes like this, So I'm walking on the outside of it, and he goes, hey, through the gate, come here. And he goes, the patch, you can get come here. So I go to the dude, and he goes, go right through, So I walk, and Jess and the kid are to the side of the sound stage. And I go up there, and I'm standing there, and I'm looking, like, holy shit, And he goes, pretty fucking sweet, right? And then all of a sudden, dude, they come on. Paul Stanley slides from the stage right in front of me, like from here to the fucking lights away. And he plays Love Gun with the shattered guitar, dude, right in front of me. I was just like, oh, this is amazing. But that was my Rockheads.
Was that at the Civic Center, right? Yeah. I was at that show.
Yep.
I saw that show.
That was an amazing show.
The only reason I went is because one of the security guards, my friend Dave Hill,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm going to be at this gate. Show up.
No, that's how the Civic Center was.
Yeah.
No matter
So,
what show.
so, but it was really cool that I got to see that
Bro,
show. So I know exactly what
I
show
got
you're
a
talking
call.
about.
I
That
got
was
a
amazing.
call. I got a call 2 times to go down to the Civic Center for big things. Right. One dude calls me. He says, "Hey, Marilyn Manson's in town. He needs this." I said, "Fuck. All right. Well, let me make a call." I make a call. Da 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 da. Now I got a fucking ounce of blow in my pocket, and I go to the fucking door, and I call this dude, and I go, "If I get searched, if I get fucked with, I am fucked." And he goes, "Don't worry about it, dude." Literally, they walk to the door, they open the door, and they're like, "That guy, come here." And the security goes, "You, come here." And I go, "Okay." I walk over there, and I just, and I'm back there, and then I leave, and no big deal, right? The next one was Stained. I had 2 pounds of fucking high-grade marijuana in my jacket, and I'm walking up to the door. There's cops coming next to me, walking down the street. I'm going, oh, my God, I'm going to fucking jail. Going to jail. Walk in, go to the backstage. Dude from Stained sitting there. I pull one out, I pull another one out. Oh, those are great. How much do you? Okay, cool. All right, enjoy the show. If you want to stay, go ahead. And I'm just like, I just sold weed to the guy from Stained. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is this, dude? This is
I take it
ridiculous, dude.
Aaron Lewis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just ridiculous.
I delivered meth to Janet Jackson once.
That's amazing, dude. Hell yeah.
You what?
Delivered meth to Janet Jackson.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, the pleasure principle,
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, she's also known for boofing coffee.
There you go.
I think
like,
it's just called a coffee enema.
well, boofing. I boofed so hard that I woke myself up.
That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. All right, so let's do another tune. We got Killing Sprees next. Do you want to?
This is the very first time that this has been played publicly, but this song is going to be on the album that we're hoping to release sometime this spring. We just didn't want to put it out on CD yet because we want to put out a record. So we're working on getting a vinyl together. The song's called Killing Spree. It was written before the situation that's going on right now, but the lyrics kind of fit to the situation that's going on right now with the melty shit in town.
Yeah.
So it's basically so sick and tired of all of this bullshit. Just point the finger. Nobody's going to own it. I've been here before. Well, here we are again. I can't take this anymore. Kind of like if you just look at the picture of the United States right now.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
what's going on. So
Shithole.
I've tried to not ever be a political band with Mommy Says No. I try to write songs about killing people and scary things instead of political stuff because it's we're all fucking humans, man, and everybody's got their own opinion. It doesn't mean one person's wrong and this person's wrong, but people don't deserve to be treated by the way I've been seeing it.
I hear that.
And
It really
so
doesn't matter what side you stand on anyway when it comes to that shit.
It never did when I was growing up with my mom and dad, and they were both separate the whole time, and yet they got along just fine. They're still in a relationship together. They don't hate each other because of it. It's a political opinion, and that's all it is. It's just an opinion of I think this side's a little better than this side.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to hate you for it.
But at the same time, we've got a lot of bullies that are pulling shit that they shouldn't be pulling.
But that also goes on either side, and I don't want to get into that conversation. It's a very difficult conversation to have.
It really is.
I think it all boils down to this. It's like either you're fucking a good human being or you're not a good human being.
Exactly.
Right?
Thank you.
And here's the thing: is I got chastised twice during this whole thing. One by a local drummer in town. I won't say his name. I won't even go into it too much more. Then I was basically tried to be bullied by someone who saw me like a page that he didn't like. That's what's fucked up about it. A fucking page that he didn't like. Okay, that's one area of bullying in my opinion. Another is that everybody does that. Cut and dry. If you're this way or you think this way or you fucking sleep on your right side, you might as well delete me now because I sleep on my left and I don't like you. You know that type of shit.
Right.
Where I'm like, listen, man, it's all fine and dandy. It's all whatever. Again, I'm with you, man. When I was a kid, my fucking grandparents and my parents, they didn't talk about that shit. They didn't want you to know because it was none of your fucking business.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The affiliation didn't matter as long. Here's the funny thing, man, is I see a lot of people posting things where like someone that disagrees with them in their neighborhood helps them out or sees them help somebody out in the neighborhood, and it says the character of the human being and not the opinion, right?
Right.
And I think that's what everybody needs to fucking realize. It comes down to this. Is it character, a human being's character, whether they voted for somebody that is a pedophile or isn't a pedophile, okay?
Right.
Because if I look at the grand scheme of things, they're all fucking pedophiles. They all have money. They don't give a fuck about us poor people down here. Whatever I do in my street here in Minneapolis, whoever I dislike because of their opinion, they're never going to lose sleep over it. They don't give a fuck about
Right.
you.
Yeah.
They don't care what Minnesota does. I don't give a fuck what you think. How many fucking people they sent here? They don't give a shit. This is an economic fucking stranglehold is what it is. It has nothing to do with anything other than money and fucking being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, if you touch, abuse anything, children or disabled people, anybody who can't fend for themselves, you deserve to walk directly into a wood chipper. That's all. That's how I stand.
Yep. I
And
agree.
Even
Yep, I
today,
agree.
even today, somebody posted this thing, and I'm so tired of hearing this fucking shit. It's one side or the other. It's not. It's both. It's the same fucking bird with two goofy ass wings that are pointing at each other. That's all it is, dude.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Exactly.
Yep.
I get in so many arguments with friends of mine at home that stop over, and I'm like, "But you're not understanding something." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Bird's got to fly with two wings.
Right.
If one wing ain't working, the other wing ain't gonna work either."
Right. Well, what if this wing is working too much?
Yeah.
Or doing
Right.
too
Then-
much
then-
shit.
then
You know
it's
what I'm
gonna-
saying?
then it's
And
gonna-
this one says, "Fuck you, I'm not going to go anywhere. You're just going to fly in a circle." Because that's basically where we're at right now.
Exactly.
Is that we're just pointing at each other and flying in a fucking circle,
Right.
and we
And
all
it's-
look ridiculous.
it's-
When it comes down to it, here's the thing: I don't delete, I snooze. Here's the thing:
Me
I
too.
don't like to live in an echo chamber. So if I like somebody's opinion on one thing or the other, do people deserve to die? No, they do now. Do if you're in the wrong spot at the wrong time, you can die.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that it was right or wrong for those people to be where they were or not, okay?
Right.
What I'm saying is that you have the right to fucking protest anything that you fucking want.
Exactly.
It's your right here. It's your right to do it.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you're going to endanger other people's lives, there's going to be consequences of that. And I hate it to say it. It becomes the bullying thing.
Yep.
People want people of power, authorities of any kind, shape, or form. They fucking push it. It doesn't matter. You're not doing what I'm telling you. I'm going to spray you. I'm going to throw shit. I'm going to blow you in half. That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
I don't like you with it. You know what I mean, dude.
Yeah.
I went too far into it already. It's just one of those fucking things where it frustrates the living shit out of me because today I just pointed out the fact that it's the same fucking bird.
Yeah.
And this guy goes for my throat, and I just said, hold on a second, man. Before you assume that you know who I am and what I'm all about, what I'm going to tell you is that they're both fucking scumbags, and all pedophiles and everybody who abuses people needs to be thrown into a wood chipper on pay-per-view, if you ask me. So if before you assume you know me at all, ask somebody who I am or fuck off is all it is. And I don't try to get into these political arguments with anybody. I don't post about politics online. I post well wishes and safety to my friends, and that is it. Because honestly, I'm behind you, man. If you see the ultimate horror in what you're seeing on TV, which I do too, but I'm 53 years old and I'm not going to go into the town that I don't live in. Okay. I'm not going to go be a part of a fucking, this thing and get caught up in the middle. I stick out like a sore thumb. I'm a big dude. Somebody sees rubber bullet target right there. He's big and you know what I mean? Now you pissed me off. Now I got to get involved in it even more. And now I got to break shit. Now I got to be a complete asshole and burn some shit to the ground.
And I'm in a position with an insulin pump and a glucose monitor on. I have to stay away from physical contact shit.
Dude.
I mean,
like Tom and I had talked about, hey man, you want to go down and protest? And Tom's like, I'm gonna get too mad, man, and it's not gonna look good.
See, and I'm not the only one. See, and this is where I get thrown. I get thrown into this thing that I'm not saying anything because I have this platform. And they're like, dude, you're not saying anything. You're not standing up. Like, this was the argument with this drummer. He said, nice way to, nice strong stance for your community. And I'm like, what do you mean, dude?
Yeah.
And I get a post of a Nick Shirley thing because I liked his page, okay? because I like to follow everything. I want to know everything.
yeah.
If my two friends are in a fight and one guy punches the other guy in the face and I go break it up and he's saying this about him and I want to know what's going on. Why am I going to slap this other guy because he just slapped this dude? No,
Yeah.
I'm going to walk in there. I had my jaw broken because of that exact thing. Dude raped this girl. I got involved because he got his ass beat and then I show up and he's got fucking 3-4 guys on him. I start fucking teeing off on people. All of a sudden, I get jumped by all these dudes. I get fucked up, and I realize he was in the wrong, and I look like a fucking idiot.
Right, because there's always their side, one side,
Yep.
and then
And
the
the
truth,
truth. Yeah.
is in the middle.
Yep.
I mean, it's like I'm kind of like him. I'm like, if I go, I'm gonna get mad. I'm
Yeah.
gonna beat somebody's ass. 2, I have a responsibility to make sure that the school that I work at is warm and clean for those students. So I actually always have to think, I'd like to go out and protest. I can't because those kids need that school more than I need to go out and
Right.
protest.
Right.
So, and I've kind of been taking a stance back on the online stuff
Yeah.
because
Well, here's the
You
thing,
know-
man.
you
They're
know.
going to put you on a fucking list regardless.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, man. We're already a target for this fucking clown.
yeah.
right.
You know what I'm saying? We're a this state is a target because of the shit during with COVID and all that. We got fucking marked for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's this. The sad thing is like you know, yeah, I wanna speak about it, but you know, I'm speaking about it on your guys' time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's kind of fucked up, and I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's sad because at the end of the day, man, this dude's going to be gone in a couple years. We all know that. Dude's not going to be able to stick around with all the bullshit going on and all the lies and all the shit that's popping up with this Epstein shit and all that. He's not going to be able to stick around. Right. Anybody who thinks on the right thinks that he's going to be able to win another fucking election, you're high as shit.
Yeah.
There's too much bullshit out there for him right now. So here's the thing. Now where do you sit? Are you going to hold that hatred for all those people that were caught? I bet you half those motherfuckers that voted for that dude is going, holy shit, I didn't know he was into all of that right now.
And
They're probably like,
a
he's
lot
a
of that
creepy
is happening.
motherfucker. But, you know, here's the thing. This is how I've been looking at it for the last few years. And I don't give anybody a pass that's doing that crazy shit. But here's the thing. I look at all the rock and roll bands that I grew up on as a kid. They all slept with underage women.
Yep.
It was a thing. It was sport.
Remember that song by Winger that became a hit?
17.
I'm only
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Our own Slave Raider, didn't they have one?
Yeah,
Young
yeah.
Blood,
Yeah.
or wasn't, you
Yeah.
know? So,
I mean, what is it? Steven Tyler actually had like, what's the word? He was a guardian.
He emancipated some chick. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yeah,
had her, like
yeah.
her parents gave her up.
so that was like growing up in the
David
70s.
Bowie?
You know, so I was born in 1970, so I got, you know, all of that music was right there, and
me
that
too.
was the environment, and then the whole glam rock thing. That was all about that shit.
If that ain't some of the cringiest shit I've ever fucking heard in my
Right.
life, dude. You know,
Right.
don't listen to it, Greg. It has been celebrating my downfall for years. That's funny. People in the chat, thank you, Johnny. Appreciate you. We're gonna hit this song because now I'm all worked up and I want to go on a killing spree.
There you go.
All right, we're going on a killing spree. Stick around, folks. We'll
Well,
be back.
hopefully this would be a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
So sick and tired of all of this bullshit. Just play the thing in the back. You're haunted, heard of before. Well, here it comes again. I can't take it anymore. It's nobody's fault. Everyone's to blame. Have all medications made. It's all in change. If no one is right, well, then it was wrong. I can't take this anymore. Oh, I've had enough. Oh, I'm about to snap. I'm going on a killing spree, and you're not coming back. Oh, I've had enough. I'm about to snap. Going on a killing spree.
Woo! You gotta love punk rock. It's always sweet when you when you think it's gonna be a bit. Well, I broke my fucking headset. Look at that. Oh, look at that. It was cracked before. I heard it crack again. God, I love it. Here we go. Punk rock songs are usually pretty short, and I know that, but that's me being a goof, and I. So welcome back, boys. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Good,
man.
good. All right, sorry. Now, half of us are here and half of us are peeing and smoking. It's all good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You said, John brought up Christine 16 from Kiss. That's another one, too.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that's there's so many.
I mean, even recently, within the last 20 years, the band Deadsy,
Yeah.
you remember them?
Yeah.
Okay. They had a track, and it was a joke, but people are like, dude, that's kind of not a joke.
Yeah.
It's called Itty Bitty Titty Girl.
Yeah.
And it's pretty bad, But
Yeah.
I mean, did they ever release it? No. But
Right.
at the same time, it kind of had this legendary, it's like, this is written. No, it's not. But it's,
Yeah.
you can't joke about that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not in this day and age.
Well, and here that kind of segues to something that I avoided on this podcast for quite a long time, is the situation with the White Rock.
Yeah, we actually performed there right before that happened. We opened for the Mentors, and
What a perfect spot for that.
right, you know what I mean? Right. But no, that whole thing. I mean, you hear it through the grapevine. If you don't know the people like personally, you hear a lot of stuff through the grapevine. So I'm not going to repeat anything.
Well, I saw it online.
I saw it online too.
And the funny thing is I've known the dude for a long time.
Yeah.
And that was like when I heard it from the person that I heard it from, I just was like, dude, where did you hear this from?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, people that work there, people that did this, and then like all of it started kind of blossoming, and I'm going, oh my God, this is fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
So then I hit the dude up directly, and I'm like, hey man, what's going on? Tell me it ain't so, because I had hurt myself, and I was booking at Skyway, and so people were hit me up for Skyway gigs, all age Skyway gigs, and I was like, well, I'm not doing anything right now. Give it to the guy who's my friend who just opened a club, you know what I mean, needs to push. So I was pushing all these bands that way, and then it comes out, and like I'm talking to him, and he tells me, oh, it's a scorned girl from this, and I'm like, well, what? How old is this girl? And he's like, well, she was 17, and then I'm like, hold on a second, and then what he did was like, I'll call you later and talk to you about it. Like he stopped the text, so there was no more. Anything else about it.
There was no more evidence.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it was like just playing super sleuth, because I was very concerned, one, because my daughter at the time just turned 17.
Right.
Now I'm pushing, I'm bringing my daughter to shows. So if my daughter's like, hey, I want to go to an all age show, where am I going to push them? To my friend's venue that does all ages, right? That's what I'm going to do. So I took it kind of personal.
Right.
And so I just started asking people, and then the funny thing is like, even mutual friends of ours, like one that works at a women's shelter, sent me and this is the crazy thing, is she sent me a message about it, and I read it, and I didn't respond because I wanted her to start seeing the things that I was seeing. So then by the next day, I'd already talked to like 5 or 6 girls. I'd already talked to a bunch of people. I reached out to the bartender, reached out to all these people, because I really wanted to know what the fuck was going on. And I didn't want anybody telling me, well, I heard this and I heard that. I wanted to know facts.
Right.
And so there were a lot of girls that were afraid to, one, tell me who they are, how old they were, where they were, what they worked. They didn't want to tell me. And I was like, listen, I'm just a guy in the scene who's been booking for a long time, and I deal with a lot of bands because of my podcast. I need to know who was involved in this, because it spreads throughout our community. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And here's the thing, is that the gal who was working for the women's shelter went on some of those websites or some of the threads and actually put her name out there and said, you can use me as a reference. And when I contacted her, I just said, why'd you take the message down? And she goes, I honestly had known the guy this long. I didn't think it was this bad. And she goes, I work for a women's shelter. I put my name out there for a resource if they needed someone to talk to. She goes, it's way worse than anybody's even seeing. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, she's saying that the dude was using these girls for OnlyFans content, that he was being part of the OnlyFans content or using himself as like, hey, I can get you these opportunities. See, I didn't know about this whole Photoshop burlesque thing that he was doing, or what do they call that? Boudoir photos and shit, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know about any of that. So, you know, it ties into all of this shit, man. You know what I mean? Like it goes back to the shit with the NYDM that I was talking about. You know? Again, another subject that I really didn't bring on the podcast because I was in NYDM for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? I was involved in all those. I seen and I heard a lot of shit, and I kept a lot of, you know, I held on to a lot of that shit because it wasn't in my area at the time. It was outside, and there was nothing that I could do about it. There's nothing that I could do at the level I was. I couldn't influence anybody higher than me. They were already dick sucking that clown. You know what I'm saying? They were already like, oh, it's so-and-so from this band. And it's like, how can you shake that? How can you say, that person that you know who's in this big band who makes no money and does nothing, and you know what I mean? They're worthless. They're fucking worthless. I don't care what anybody says. Mortician is one of the worst death metal bands on the planet, and I will say that on record. Will Romer is a scumbag. Period. That's all there is to it. And anybody who wants to challenge me on that, you can go right ahead.
I put it this way. It's like that. I've checked out the band to see what they were sounding. I'm like, wow, this guy don't know shit from Good Chocolate, you know?
He's
holy shit, is this horrible? You know, it's like, you know, there's validity in any scene, but
look at that squeaky shits.
Shit squeaks.
It squeaks. But yeah, it's, you know, no, I listen to it. I'm like, yeah, this guy don't know shit from Good Chocolate. You know, it's like, it's comical how some people, you know, I always try to be real with people. I always try to be honest and real, and this is who I am, you know? Do we have stage personas? Yes. But outside of it, you try to be real. You try to be all that stuff. And I've seen a lot of people just don't want to be real. Right. You know, they want to be their on-stage persona all the effing time, all the fucking time. And it's like, no, you have to be a person. That is a persona. Yeah. You know, like I on my drums, you come up on stage and fuck with me, I'm going to fucking get in a fight with you. Yeah. Outside of that, I'd be like, dude, what's your problem? Right. You know, I mean, that's the thing. It's a stage persona. You gotta shut it off. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that are just
you guys ever have any of those issues coming up playing in bands? Like,
I feel attacked.
No, I just took all my clothes off and nobody wanted to approach me because they're like, I don't want to fight the naked guy.
That's true. But we also lost a lot of gigs because we get naked.
Future gigs. They loved it when I was there. Then they're like, we can't have you back.
When
Why are you taking your clothes off?
We went on our second tour. Like the first time we ever went on tour, we went out for 2 weeks with V and Cat. Yeah. And we didn't have a vehicle. So I knew we needed, in order to go on tour, because I had gotten to do this Jeff Dahl show, I had to go do this. Yeah. And when I got married in Vegas, I had gotten really shit-faced at the Double Down. Yeah. Talking about my band the whole time. And he said, when you sober up and get back to Minnesota, if you remember to get back a hold of me, I'll book you a show. And I had gotten a tattoo from a dude at Pussycat Tattoo there, Dirk Verman, who turned out to be a YouTube or the cable guy and everything like that. Him and another guy helped us get that show, and Ian, the guy that booked it, remembered I was the dumb idiot tourist that came in and drank too much ash juice and got completely sick.
Oh, God, ash juice.
Because I didn't drink anything in between it. I'm like, give me another one, give me another one, give me another one. I tried to stand up. I couldn't stand up. We went to the Hard Rock Cafe because I had to go to the bathroom, and we walked through this fancy restaurant. I'm going fast, people just drunk as hell. But 6 months later, my band was down there playing at the Double Down.
Drinking ass juice.
And they gave us a fucking awesome show. Yeah.
And what a fun place, too, man. That place is a blast.
Oh, you been there? Oh, I love that club, man.
Yeah, I stumbled into it, dude. Like we were in the Fremont, and I was with Necromus, and we were down there in 2004, and I'd been there 2 times before that, and I tried to black out in Vegas. I was like, we're gonna fucking, Fear and Loathing,
Go for it.
So we went ham, and then when we went down there, we were at way down on the Fremont. They've got a place that has giant daiquiris. It's like way on the end. It's got the Chiquita chicks on the outside handing beads out and all this shit. Yeah. So I get in the back, and there's a punk rock chick there, and I tell her I want a shot of 151 in mine, and I literally had a fucking daiquiri this big, and I had it 3/4 down. And she, we were smoking weed all day. I ate mushrooms, we're hanging out, and all of a sudden I look at her, and I'm like, I'm sick of this shit. Like, tell me somewhere cool. You're a punk rock chick. Double down. And she just wrote me the address. We jumped in a taxi and we went out there. And by the time we got there, I was so shroomed out. I was like, what is this place? Yes. Yes, it was so much fun. And then I ran into another guy who was mushroomed out, and he was like, are you on an adventure? And I was like, dude, yes. And we sat there and like told each other the trippy adventure that we were on. What was funny, we're leaving Double Down, and there's a strip club somewhere close by. I'm sure there's a billion of them. Yeah. But it was late, and we couldn't catch a ride out of the place. So we're like walking. And as you go out of the strip club parking lot, there was a puddle that was about this big. It wasn't huge, but it wasn't small. And my drummer at the time, he goes to jump in it thinking that it'll just splash all of us and it'll be funny. Dude, he ended up going like knee high in this puddle, dude. God. Soaked. And the water splashed up and bent his cigarette. So he's smoking the cigarette that's bent like this. So we're wasted on fucking mushrooms in the Fremont, and Hendrix comes on the deal. And I look up and I look over at my drummer, and he's sitting down cross-legged just going, whoa. So we sit down. And now we're watching the show, and I'm smoking a cigarette, and I look back, and there's literally 100 people behind us, all cross-legged, sitting down, all doing this. And it was like we started it on mushrooms. It was a blast.
Yeah. So
sorry,
when we were on a tangent. When we were on that tour, we played in Austin.
Yeah.
Okay, we played a place called Headhunters.
Yeah.
Billy from MOD used to do sound there. He was supposed to be our sound guy, but he quit a week before because the guy wasn't paying him.
Yeah.
We get there. There's a bartender named Sarah, shaved head, punk rock chick, awesome as fuck. Sits there, goes, Coheed and Cambria is playing across the street. Whoever goes over and gives their bust the middle finger, I'll give you guys beers all for free all night. Okay, I go across the street, giving the fucking bust the finger. Dude walks up to me, long blonde hair. He's like sitting there. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm getting free beer if I flip off Coheed and Cambria's bus. I look over. It's the fucking guitar player. He's like, think I could get a free beer? Yeah. So we're both sitting there like this, like, woo!
Hilarious.
Giving the thing. Claudio Sanchez said, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
And he sits there. He's like, I'm going to go get a free beer. Goes over, comes in. She's sitting there. She's like, did you do it? Yep. What the fuck is he doing here? He did the same thing. All right. Beer, we got free beer for the night for it.
That's hilarious.
But the weirdest thing is about a month afterward, Bar Rescue went in there.
That's funny.
And they had roaches in the glasses and everything. So luckily we were getting bottled beer that night.
We were watching roaches there. Me and one of the other guys were watching fucking roaches run around upstairs in that little smoking section where they said we could go smoke cigarettes.
Yep.
And and then Coheed and Cambria was in this fancy bar down on the corner, and then like right across the street and a little way down, AC, that band AC was playing. Yeah, they were playing a fucking show too. I'm sitting down there going, I fucking made it, man. There's fucking Coheed and Cambria over there. Yeah. Billy Milano was almost our sound guy.
Yep.
Fucking AC's right across the street. Oh. And my band's playing tonight too.
And Lori Barbero from Babes in Toyland was there.
Lori Barbero.
At your show?
And the guitar player, I always forget his name, but he was in the band with Lemmy Headcat.
Oh, okay.
He was there with his girlfriend who had been in Apox before, so was there with V and Cat.
Yeah.
And it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like this guy that plays in a band with somebody I've looked up to forever was talking to me about my fucking guitar.
Dude, how do you think that shit happens, man? I just find is it just synergy? What the fuck is it, dude?
Yeah.
Like what happens that all of a sudden you're like
I don't know either, but way back when him and I, when we would jam in his mom's basement and shit, we one of the covers we would play as Magenta Lip Balm back then, and was Smash Alley from Faster Pussycat. You know, I fucking love these guys. These guys are wasted too. Years later, we got to open for Faster Pussycat, and then their guitar player was coming through, and I got in hold of him, and I said, dude, can I ask you something? Would you ever be willing to play on one of my songs? And that was Ace Von Johnson. Yeah. And he goes, well, send me the song. And so I sent him the song, and he goes, fuck yeah, dude. I've listened to it, and he goes, I'll pop in. And I said, well, how do you want to work this? Do you want me to pay you or whatever? He goes, just show up at fucking blah, blah, blah time, and you got to give me a ride and get me back to the place before I got to do sound check.
Right.
Or come watch the sound check, we'll do it after. So we went down, fucking hung out, got to watch Faster Pussycat soundcheck, and 15-year-old me's like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
And then brought him into the studio, and he did this fucking badass lead, and then we brought him back. And then Nicole, Rhodey, yeah, she came down there, runs up, oh hi Ace, because she gave him a ride, because I don't drive, so I have to call all my friends that have a car.
I gave him a ride.
Nicole did too. She gave him a ride
yeah,
back.
oh yeah, because he went to go take a shower or something like that. Yep.
And
You're right.
he's getting ready, and we're down there, and she runs up to him and jumps from about 6 feet away in the air for him to catch. And
That's
he comes
hilarious.
up to me after the show. He goes, I don't know who that fucking chick was, dude, but don't let her come close to me again, because I gotta play fucking guitar, man, and I might have hurt my arm.
Like I'm sitting there, I'm looking at Tie Me Down, and I'm sitting there, I'm just like, who is this guy? Because I saw Decline of Western Civilization Part 2, and I'm the skinny blonde haired dude.
Yeah.
Who's this guy with the black hair and everything? It's like, oh, that's him. Oh, because. That's the guy I remember, not this guy.
Yeah.
But he looks good now. He looks healthy.
It's always a trip when that happens, man. Where you're in the right place at the right time, and you meet really cool fucking people, and you're like, how the fuck did this happen, man?
Right.
Like, dude, I can't even. Looking back at some of the bands that I played with, like, you say I had an opportunity to do it. So many times that I've been in that situation, I have no idea how the hell I got there, man. You know what I mean?
And when we were kids and we were looking at fucking Circus Magazine and Hit Parader, this was never any shit we ever thought. And we don't have a magazine like that anymore. Right. So we can't get in that magazine and make that dream come, because that magazines are gone.
Yeah.
But yet, we've kind of done all the same things. Yeah. We're just on a local level, and it's like there's no reason.
We played Wisconsin.
We're regional. We're Vegas. Hey, we played Vegas and Kentucky and Ohio and Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago was fun.
Chicago is fun, man.
When we went and played Kenosha, though, we did that just because we wanted to go to the dispensary.
There you go.
When we did. and
Was it any good?
Fuck, dude. We went and stood. We all went and went and played in Kenosha, got a little motel. The next morning, we got up early in the morning, and Tom took us to this dispensary that he knew about.
Yeah.
Evanston, yeah.
Well, they would only let us buy this much there, so we went to another one, and then went another one after that. And they made Tom put like half the shit back at both of them.
Why?
Well, there's like a limit, too, because we're out-of-staters.
Yeah.
He's like, I got $10,000, give it all. But then we got to fucking Lake Michigan. This part on Lake Michigan out of Kenosha, and we went and stood on the fucking shores of Lake Michigan and got wasted, man.
Yeah, that is always fun.
And the funniest thing is like families were walking up, they could smell it, they turn around, walk away.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's this cool shit that
Scared
we
off
did.
another one. Being a punk band, what are your thoughts on Midwest hardcore, or what it has become? If you are familiar with the band called Locked Shut, what are your thoughts? If you have any opinions on it?
I haven't heard of Locked Shut, but Will gave me some tickets to Whispers, and it was a while ago at the Fine Line. The first real hardcore show I'd been to in probably like 20 years. I thought it was fucking nuts, man. But I talked to the local opener band for them, because I thought they had a good set too. Sure. So I went over and said, hey, man,
do you remember who it was?
Good set. Right out, if I heard their name again, I'd be able to tell you, but right off the top of my head, I can't. I remember the hat because I dropped it on the floor the day before I came, and it said Whispers on it. But there was another band, it's not Noise, but they're a hardcore Asian band.
Okay.
And the local band, I don't think it was Too Much Blood, but it was. I was impressed, and I was surprised that I hadn't known about being a guy that was plugged into the local scene for years before I was ever a part of it.
Yeah.
I was really surprised I didn't know that there was this fucking scene of these guys that were fucking crazy.
Yeah,
It was like, I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, we were too close to the fucking pit.
Yeah.
We had to keep moving back, but the energy there, man, I thought that was fucking great.
Well, Nate Tannick came to work not that long ago. He had one of his past students from North Dakota came down. His band was playing at the Flying V, and he's
cool.
he came in and he's like, dude, I just went to a show at the Flying V last night, which would have been his Sunday night.
Yeah.
And I go, how was it? And he goes, dude, there was 300 kids there. I said, what, 300 kids? He goes, packed.
Dude.
And I go, dude, why are us old fuckers not taking advantage of these places? Like, I've been trying to like tell people you have to do these all ages shows. There's so many kids out there that need to be influenced by all of this good music.
How do we get like? Remember when we played at that place that isn't there? That in Egan, it was the Egan Kids Community Center or whatever.
Garage or whatever.
The garage.
We fucking played
in
there.
Burnsville.
It was
That's
The-
Burnsville.
was
That
that
was Burnsville.
Skulls of Tomorrow? Was that the kids band? You want to talk about a fucking rock star moment, man? These kids, they couldn't have been fucking more than 14 or 15 years old,
They're calling out songs.
and we got done playing
our
our
song.
set.
Oh, really nice.
So we got
Nice.
done playing our set, and the kid yells out, "Will you guys play Goulette?" I mean, that song had been released 10 fucking years ago.
Right.
That kid couldn't have been 4 years old when
Right.
that song, and it was like, holy shit.
He's got some cool parents.
You know, like, wow. Yeah, hey, we'll
That's
do it.
huge.
And I think
And
the
we
name
hadn't
of their
played
band
it.
was Skulls of Tomorrow.
It's something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And we hadn't played that because we didn't rehearse that song with Tom very much. You know, it was like we
It's
were
like, I
writing a
could
new
do it.
album
Let's
and
go.
he could do it. We did it. It was
Should
probably
have faked it, Tom.
Yeah.
we
Oh, I
did.
did. No, it
we,
turned
we
out
had
good.
to, but it turned out
What
good.
band isn't would you consider Diminished a hardcore band?
Probably.
Yeah, I'd consider them a little more hardcore than like straight up punk. They're really good.
Yeah.
I've played a couple shows with them, one with Mommy and then one with Omnira.
Yeah.
And they're really good. I think the thing about hardcore is that hardcore is like, you know, there's punk and then there's metal and then you got hardcore, which kind
Right
of
in the middle.
Right in the
Yep.
middle. Kind of like Motorhead
Yep.
and
I was gonna say,
DRI.
they
You
all
know,
like
it's
Lemmy.
like right there. And I think that's the best thing about hardcore is that it can it bridges both the things. So you
The
get
sad thing about it is they don't want to fuck with either one of them though. That's what's
I know,
crazy. Is they
it's
just they're like the fucking, you know what I mean? They're like the it's the space in between.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Cool. What the fuck? Cool. You know what I mean? Like, not to say that hardcore isn't awesome. Hardcore is awesome, but it's just kind of any hardcore shows that I've ever been to. They're like, fucking long hairs and their death metal shit, and it's like, dude, you're not that far off. And then it's like punk riffs and shit.
Dirty,
Right.
It's like taking the
Kid.
best of both worlds and fusing it into the same
right.
shit.
It's. I used to make so much fun because I grew up. It was heavy metal, hard rock,
Yeah.
rock. You know, and there was punk.
Yeah.
When they started dividing it into 500 different kinds of
Yeah,
metal, I
yeah,
started
yeah.
making fun of it because
Yeah,
I was like, well, it's still the same shit.
Yeah.
It's the same exact shit. You know,
it's all blues.
it's all
yeah,
fucking
fast sped up blues. That's what it is, man.
It's all fucking rock and roll. And as Mommy Says No, I've been fortunate enough that heavy metal bands like us, that we've played with death metal bands, but we also get to play with a lot of punk rock bands.
Why do you think that is? That was actually one of the questions that I had on the sheet
I
too.
honestly think I just got fucking lucky, man. But it's also the diversity of people's musical tastes.
Right.
And the one thing where I think I stood out a little bit is when I started writing my own songs and when I used to take guitar lessons, I didn't want to play like them.
Yeah.
I remember getting in arguments, well, not really arguments, but kind of an argument with Eric Gales. And I said, look, dude, I came down to you to learn how to make my leads sound myself,
Right.
but kick ass like you.
Right.
I don't want to play exactly like you.
Yeah.
How do I just make my fucking music? How do I bring out the shit I hear in my head and push it out?
Right.
And when I used to go hang out with Jeff Loven all the time in my early 20s and take guitar lessons from him and shit, and I took vocal lessons from him for a while, I always wanted to learn. I understand that Steve Vai is amazing at what he does, and Dweezil Zappa and all that.
That ain't me.
But how do I become that?
Yeah.
I'm not going to become that if I spend all my time trying to sound exactly like them. How do I be able to do this and put my own voice on it?
Right.
And then I started thinking that because I'm a guitar player, do I really want to deal with another one of me? As people who've been in bands with two guitar players, I really haven't.
Yeah.
But I've seen some of the interactions.
Probably
and
heard
stuff,
lots of
and
stories,
I've heard
dude.
plenty of stories, and it's like, well, I don't want to deal with that. And then everybody knows the jokes about singers.
Yeah.
So I'll take up 2 roles then. Fuck it. And I do fit into that motherfucker doesn't carry shit problem because we usually get somebody to come help us, and it's usually because I need help carrying my fucking amplifier.
Right.
But you know, what can you do? I sit back and I let
Earth
him carry it.
Crisis. Oh, Johnny Hawk brings up. He said, check out the the album New Chaos by Locked Shut, and then he said, Earth Crisis was one of my all-time favorite. Dude, I got to see Earth Crisis at the Foxfire Lounge downtown Minneapolis in this little coffee shop in the back of it.
I remember the Foxfire.
Dude, Earth Crisis absolutely crushed that room. It was just crazy. Seen him with Samsara, which was Harley Flanagan from the Cro-Mag side band, and I got to meet Harley Flanagan again.
Cool.
But yeah, in this little coffee shop, you know, this dude's half my size, and he's talking about beating the shit out of a guy my size. He's like, yeah, I just fucked a guy that looked like just like you. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, you know, everybody always thinks they're tougher than me because they're bigger than me. And he's like, I'm slapping this dude upside his head. You know, I punch him, I spin him around. Now I got him by the back of his pants, and I'm fucking him in the ass while I'm slapping him in his face. And I'm looking at Harley Flanagan just laughing, going, I believe it. You know what I mean?
Squirrely.
He's squirrely dude, man. He's a squirrely dude.
When I got to meet, I was waiting to see Gwar.
Yeah.
And I brought my son with me to a concert.
Yeah.
Go to Gwar, and they had the action figures for sale then and shit.
Yeah.
It was at the fucking Cage when that used to be there.
Well,
way
yeah,
back
dude,
when.
way back.
And
Yeah.
I'm standing outside smoking a cigarette. My son was a teenager, so he was inside by himself. I figured he'd be all right. And I'm out there, and there's this guy talking just this crazy shit.
Yeah.
And I'm standing over there listening, and I'm starting to laugh because this is some funny shit this guy's saying. And
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if he was fucking drunk or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
And he's talking about this story about being in this German internment camp.
Yeah.
And this old lady making food that had foot in it and him having to eat the foot. And I looked at him and I said, is that you? I remember. I was the guy over in the corner. And he looks over at me. He goes, yeah, I kind of remember that. And this other guy started fucking with him. And then he comes over and he goes to the other guy. He goes, no, man. None of this shit's true. I'm Dave Brocky. How are you? And I was like, holy shit. I'm just like, holy shit, dude, will you sign my fucking sweatshirt? And I
Right.
just had this gray hoodie on. He drew a fucking huge picture on my sweatshirt like this. That was a fucking dude sucking a dick because I ruined his joke,
That's
dude.
so
And
funny, dude.
Al
I've
saw
seen
that.
it. I've seen
That's
it. Yeah.
funny, dude.
Yeah.
That was my Gwar, you know.
Dude, he was
Gwar-
such a cool fucking guy, man. Dave Brocky was so cool.
Yeah.
I got to meet him at Station 4 once before, and he was so fucking cool.
Everybody
man.
in that band was cool.
Yeah.
Slemenstra was cool. Ballsack was cool.
Dude, Slime Menschner was one of my favorites, dude. God,
And did you know that she did some work on Stranger Things?
I did not.
Yeah, Vecna's tentacles.
Also, she helped with prop shit.
Yeah, because her and her husband, I believe, they have a business doing that stuff. She worked on that. So when you see Vecna with all the tentacles coming out, that was
awesome,
her. That was
dude.
her.
Do you
The
remember-
only one that I didn't like that was kind of a dick
bring up
was
Mirage
Beefcake?
no, Beefcake was actually really cool.
I thought he was cool shit.
Techno Destructo, the guy
Okay.
who played Techno,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was a dick.
Okay.
He was a dick. But like guy who played Ballsack, he went. He's like, I got to go in. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're still out here. He went in and grabbed picks and just handed them out to us. I mean,
Wow,
dude
that's
was
cool
they liked their fans.
Yeah.
The guys in Typo Negative were the same
They were
way.
cool,
they were
man.
the fucking nicest
I
guys.
met
Remember all that
Peter.
shit?
I met Peter Steele in 93 or 90. I think 93.
At the Mirage?
Nope, at the Eagles Ballroom in Milwaukee. And then I was doing security at the Quest, and Peter came down. I did security for them twice there. He came down
cool.
and he's like, hey, man, and I met him. We played at the same show in Milwaukee, so we came down, and he was dating that porn star Shane at the time. Hot little number, dude.
Was he dating Shane?
Yeah.
Do you know who she ended up with?
Who?
The drummer from Orgy,
Really?
Bobby.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, they've been married for long.
God, she was
time.
so sexy.
Way back, you remember the Mirage, though,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Me and him have all kinds of shit from back then. We got squished at the Overkill show, and then we got to go and meet him. And we got to get on the bus, and me and him were looking at each other, going, "This is cool as shit." Well, then some girls got on the bus, so they kicked us off right away.
That's usually what
But
happens.
it was yeah.
Was that the same? Was that the same time? That had to have been the same show that Bobby almost got into a fight with one of the locals in town.
I think so.
That was Scott Neverdahl from Cromlech. Was trying to start a fight with. It was hilarious, dude. Hilarious.
Or remember Regime?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fucking, that was my first guitar lessons I ever took. Was from Todd Salmonson.
No
way
shit.
Back in the day, yeah.
You know what's crazy is Regime has been popping up quite a bit on this podcast. Like I did a podcast on Stunner Stage with Stunner Magnuson from Avalanche.
Yeah.
And we hung out and talked, and we talked Regime, and then he played, basically Avalanche played Regime stuff with Scott at Joe Spanbauer's last gig, his last show.
Yeah.
And they've just been coming up a bunch. And then I did, We Rock the Twin Cities. I don't know if you've seen that book yet. It's a book, two guys. One of the guys, it's Keith and Dwayne. I'm sorry for forgetting your names right now, but they wrote a book called We Rock the Twin Cities, and it has a ton of different local bands that were around back in the day during the Mirage days.
Yeah.
So it's got a ton of hair bands,
Yeah,
a
we
bunch of
might-
death metal bands.
We might be on there.
I wouldn't doubt it, dude. Seriously.
We used to play there all the time because we were going to Music Tech,
Yeah.
man, and
Yeah.
we'd get the Music Tech nights there and shit. And I remember the one time we played there.
Dewey, do you remember the
Fucking-
bouncer, Dewey? Old guy with the glasses now. It's
Yeah.
Dwayne and his kid, Keith, were the guys who wrote this book. You can get it at.
Oh, cool.
So they brought some, I always have guest spring tunes and shit. And so he brought, it was Morticia, Regime, and then Animosity.
Well, when we started this, we used to go do Thanksgiving dinner and stuff. My wife and I with Matt from Morticia
Awesome.
and Marco. My wife was friends with them and lived right down the street from them all the time as an adult and
Yeah.
everything. So she's been friends with them forever. So we've been able to do some shows with those guys and stuff.
I
too.
know I had back in the day on some
Yeah.
of those Decker big showcases that he used to do. I know that I had played with them
See,
guys before.
And then the weird thing about like being a part of the music scene and everything, like I know Decker, but I know him 100% different than anybody else
Yeah.
because like I went to shows.
Yeah.
But usually it was with a buddy of mine that I hung around with, and he was in fucking Suicide Kings.
Okay.
Way back in the day, Seth, he played drums. And we'd go down to Ryan's because we always thought it was fucking cool. Let's go do a fucking line off the table, dude. Let's go see this band. And we'd go down and hang out, and I was having a fucking blast. You know, it was reminding me of going and seeing shit that I could go to in England and fucking Belgium all the time.
Yeah.
And
The bars were like that too, right? All nookie like that, like in caves and weird shit like that, or like small buildings that were.
Yeah, and in Belgium it got closed because the heavy metal bar there that we would go to was called Der Kelder.
Yeah.
And like dudes literally fucking, this dude would come through the mosh pit. He's like 7 feet tall, and we saw Faith No More there in fucking 1987.
Yeah.
And he would fucking come
that must have
through,
been the Chuck Mosley era.
the
Yeah.
fucking crowd. This dude with these fucking huge metal fucking leather with fucking spikes like that fucking long sticking out.
Yeah.
He said too many people were getting hurt at the show. And there was another bar there called The Coffin that was literally you would walk in and your fucking bar table was a goddamn coffin.
Yeah.
And it was fluorescent lights and they had these drinks that would fume and stuff. And it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But like bands, you go see bands there and it wasn't like here and it was packed.
Yeah.
And like,
See, man, if you had the chance to experience that Mirage time though, man, that is a whole nother ball of wax, man. Minneapolis was a different beast back then, man. It was so much fun. Those shows were insane.
dude, it was
fun,
like
dude.
half of fucking going to the Mirage shows was the fucking parking lot before the show.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody'd all meet up and the
Yep.
little cliques would meet up or whatever, and then you'd have all of the chicks that
Well,
underdressed way too much to
remember
come
how
to the show.
Remember how the parking lot was? You come into that one, where the main door was, and then it was like a barrier, and then there was another parking lot on the end of it. But across the street they had parking lots, so you could party jump from different spots, man.
And
I
then the
remember
Hexagon was fucking literally right next door, and you would always get in trouble if you parked there.
Yep.
And because
They tow you, wouldn't they?
Yeah, we got towed a couple times from there because we
Now
parked
it's the
there.
Hexagon.
Yeah.
And then what's even funnier is like we played, him and I played at the Mirage a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And now we go every week when we go to our practice. We practice at 1459 because
Okay.
we ran a space there.
Yeah.
It's fucking
That's right in that area,
a
right?
block
Yeah,
away.
one
you
block
know,
away.
a
It's like behind it,
It's
right?
a fucking
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bakery now. They're making bread there and
Yeah.
shit. And it's like, oh, I've seen so many cool shows. there.
Dude, that
I
place
never-
was so awesome.
I never got to go though because it's it's like I'm an East Side St. Paul kid.
Yeah.
I was
So-
always at the bomb shop.
So to me it was like it's like that's like a galaxy away. And usually like with the shows, it's like when it would come up, like I think like one of the shows I wanted to go was Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
But it was right about no, it was still the original guy. But yeah, I mean, like
Chris
that,
Barnes.
Chris Barnes. the guy who blew out his voice.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he
It's
could,
horrible.
I know. Well, he used to be able to do those high, but now
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah,
you know, it's like and goat. I mean, even when they
It's
did
all the
even when
scar
they
tissue.
even when they filmed
Yeah.
the 6 feet under thing at Station 4, his high was doing that
He was
goat
burnt.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
he
was
was burnt.
dude. I mean, his gutturals are great, but yeah.
Did you guys hear the new Down song?
Yeah, I watched it yesterday.
What do you think?
I think they dressed up awesome, man.
I didn't mind the costumes. I
thought the
really,
costumes were
the
great.
music was great. I hate his voice. His voice sounds horrible.
I was
dude.
heavily
Yeah.
surprised because I pressed play on that and I was expecting something fucking really heavy. And I pressed play on that and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Musically, like I said, my boss actually sent it to me today, and I was like, oh man, he's just so lackluster. It's just so lackluster.
Yeah.
Musically, it sounds just the way you would expect it to sound. I mean, I was telling my other buddy, their last two releases I really wasn't a fan of. It's you know, those first two were
Great. The
Excellent.
first two were great.
amazing.
Yeah, they were really good.
So let me what keeps you pissed off to keep making this music?
50% of it is probably my diabetes.
Yeah.
Well, not my diabetes, the medical supplies that are supposed to protect my diabetes that actually don't. Part of it is, you know, I grew up always wanting to play music.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid and having heavy metal taken away from me when I was in treatment because they thought it was a bad influence, which led me to discover the blues.
Right.
Which is way worse.
Fuck, man. I got to hear very descriptive ways of killing people,
Right.
whereas death metal, I couldn't understand what the fuck they were saying
Right, right.
anyway, so how would that have been bad for me?
Right.
The blues.
Whereas
introduced
the
me to a
blues
lot
were
of
saying,
drugs.
I'm gonna chop your head off.
right.
You know, and I'm like, yeah, hey,
Right.
okay, I can't listen to heavy metal, but this is better.
Yeah.
And I really got into that heavily. And then when I was 18, I went through that whole shred phase.
Yeah.
And part of that was taking guitar lessons from Todd from Regime and
Right,
shit. And
right.
Jeff Loven and these
Yeah.
fucking guitar hotshots that were my idols when I was a kid.
Right.
And
Well,
fucking.
it's the way it is, man. You know.
Yeah. I remember eating a 45 record because I saw KQ and used to do a fucking video show when I was a teenager, and
Yeah.
Obsession was on there,
Yeah.
local band
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Obsession. And Bryn Ahrens was had fucking cassette tape wrapped all the fuck around him and was eating a 45 record, and I thought that was cool as fucking hell. So I'd always wanted to do that. So I started trying to eat a 45 record, and I cut the shit out of my tongue and the inside of my mouth. But
Are
I
you
always thought-
dumbass?
And fucking Loven, they used to tease him and call him Dr. Love, so he'd come out with a fucking doctor's fucking coat on and
Yeah.
a fucking stethoscope.
Yeah.
And it was like, that shit was fucking great,
Oh, yeah.
man.
Oh yeah.
And like my big band is Alice Cooper. Like since I was a kid, I've been an Alice Cooper fan. When he played in the band before and stuff, we had a couple of songs where I'd have a chick come up and sing with us, and
Yeah.
during our song Vampire Baby, she'd bite me on the neck and red Kool-Aid would go everywhere.
Right.
And so I always had a little bit of that aspect in it, and we've pulled it off a couple of times. Like for our song Zombie Bukkake, we had this dude dressed up
love
like
it.
came out with a big fucking dildo at one show, dressed like fucking Sasquatch, and jerked off over everybody and stuff. I think it would be awesome to be able to pull that off all the time.
Sure.
But that costs money we don't have, or
Right,
having
right,
a
right.
crazy friend that usually
Right.
gets committed.
Yeah.
So the showman aspect of it loses a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm still writing songs, and like I'm in a decent marriage. I have a great fucking wife that's been majorly supportive of every part of my music thing.
Right.
From buying fucking guitars for me when I was broke and saying, well, I thought you would like this.
That's a good one.
To giving us fucking rides to shows. Like when we've gone on tour, we fucking going over to Wisconsin and fucking
Yeah.
she's driving along too. She makes these little spooky dolls that she would say, and she would bring them on and throw them on the merch table and outsell us every fucking time. So she'd be like,
awesome.
well, you guys
Made
can
it
sleep in the fucking car. I'm going to get a hotel with my money. And she's been really supportive of me now. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got a 10-year-old daughter now.
Yeah.
And she's been very supportive of me being able to still go hang out with my buddies
Yeah.
at least once a week and still be able to do shows.
Sure.
I finally got smart and I stopped booking shows in February because her birthday's next week and Valentine's Day is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what am I doing the day before Valentine's? Let's go do a podcast.
Well, you're not drinking and you're not being crazy, so you'll be all right for tomorrow. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, she's dealing with some heavy duty shit with her family, her dad right now. So
Sorry to hear that, man.
there's a lot of stress on her part. And I think my best option right now is to keep myself entertained and busy and just be there to support her and just not say anything unless she needs something from me because she's under a lot of stress.
Give the support back. Yeah, man. It's awesome, man. Shout out to all those chicks that are supportive and deal with us musicians garbage and man, dude came to practice. He was so shit-faced he couldn't even practice. I'm sick of this shit. And then you're like, you know what? I really like that guy, man. He shows up every single day to practice, and you just told me he got away. It's one time. You know what I mean? That type of shit. But they put up with all of our shit, man, and it's great that they do that and gives us the ability to do cool things and see cool things and be creative and continue to be creative. That's always positive.
For me, the best thing is like I'm not always the easiest guy to work with because I'm a type 1 diabetic, so I'm automatically moody as fuck.
Right.
And 50% of that might not even really be my fault. It might be my fucking
blood
sugars being weird.
Yeah.
And I've gone off on these guys about some of the dumbest shit that in any normal situation, you look at your boss and go, you know what, dude?
Fuck you.
Oh, no, I've told you fuck you.
And yet, at the same time as all of this still going on, we're all still sitting here putting up with each other and still creating this shit. And to one of the guys that I probably said the biggest fuck you I've ever said to in my life because I felt totally betrayed instead of being supportive and a friend like I should have been when he wanted to go join Beauty of Decay, that turned into a stupid mess it never needed to. However, I did go see his band Beauty of Decay and it knocked me on my
shredded.
ass. Literally knocked
him on his ass.
They shredded.
Literally, he was with me and so was his dad. It literally knocked me on my ass.
Yeah. So literally he's sitting there with a drink in his hand and he just looks over at me like this, like,
I said, "This is pretty good." And
this is
then
pretty
the
good.
next thing I know,
face first into the floor.
I'm looking up, and Vic, from the guy who owns Big V's, is above me, going, "You all right? Do you need a Coke?" Because they knew I was a diabetic.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. And then Tom and I went to go see Will's band play Coffin Rights. At the Hexagon. And Tom, I wasn't on any fucking drugs or anything. I had one fucking drink, and we'd smoke some fucking
I do all
weed.
the drugs, so it doesn't have
We'd
to.
smoke some fucking weed, nothing that I haven't done 100 million times before.
Right.
I'm standing there at the Hexagon, and the next thing you know, they're fucking Will's up there fucking playing, and they're rocking, and that shit knocked me on my fucking ass.
Yeah.
If the metal's too hard.
So it's
Right.
not.
He'll
It's
pass
not
out.
like I don't. It's not like I don't like to play heavy metal
Right.
in my own band, but I'm fucking scared of it.
Yeah.
So Punk's a little bit.
Right.
So Punk's a little
You're
bit
just
nicer to me.
fucking fall over and shit.
Yeah, dude.
Well, we might need to slow that one down a little bit.
Yeah. You at the mentor show, that happened to you.
Right.
But
Like a light.
but then I did write my tribute to the death metal guys because you bring up the NYDM.
Yeah.
And I had all my own nicknames for that shit when I started this music shit because I didn't see this as a music scene that had to be separated with the TCSP and the NYDM instead of like. Not only that, but there was the TCSP and then there was a whole nother punk scene.
Yeah.
And they didn't get along.
Yeah.
But I liked bands that played here. I like bands here. I like bands here. I like bands. Why couldn't we all fucking play together?
Right.
So I still think that should go on. And so
I
we
agree.
kind of got lumped in and ended up in our own little underground world or whatever. But we got added to NYDM shows. We got added to this TCSP. Everybody. We started playing with all these bands. And I always thought that that's how it should be.
It should be. I agree with you.
And I've had fun at every single one of them.
I think that's old school thinking, though. You know what I mean? I think that people get into that separation thing, and I don't get it. Like, if I go to a show, I would rather see a punk band, a death band, a thrash band, and then something complete. Dude, even a fucking schizophrenic jazz band. You know what I'm saying? Something completely off.
Experience.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Well, you know what I mean? Like a drummer, a sax player, and a fucking bass player.
Well,
you know what I mean? Weird.
Okay, so when I was in another band, we opened for Head Charge.
Yeah.
The reason that we got to do that was because the guys in Head Charge, and I'm not talking shit, were sick of the bands that they were always getting lumped in with, which are two well-known local bands. I'm not going to name names.
No.
But we got picked because they were tired of that.
Yeah.
So they picked A-Pod
Yep.
and and Breed.
Yeah.
And we ended up opening for him, and those other two bands got pissed off because, well, we always opened for him, and it's like the band was like,
here's the thing,
band wanted,
here's the thing
wanted
though, is
something
that
different.
is they were really cool about that though, but they always played favorites. They always, I will say this for a fact,
Yeah.
I know that when it came to booking shows for that band, they always catered to the people that they were around or that was around them because APOC
Right.
they played with them a bunch, and you're like, what the fuck? They're not even the same. You know what I mean?
Genre,
well,
yeah.
Well, because fucking Glitch came from there and went to American Head Charge. He hung
Right.
with those cats all
Right.
the time. So they were always doing that experimental
But
shit.
this was after, I believe it was at the end of the Shoot tour.
But I mean,
but yeah.
But Raymond Breed was. I mean, he played in Black Flood, so he was with those guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the thing is like with those guys. Yeah, they can say that they were tired of all the bands that they were playing with.
But
But
they
here's
were
the thing:
still all
they
part of
sti-
the same.
You
Oh,
still
yeah,
clicked
yeah,
up. There's
yeah.
no. Here's the thing: is like we were right there with them too, in the same time with Sublevel. You know what I'm saying? So it
Right,
was
right,
like
yeah.
we were getting lumped into a lot of same things, and we never got a lot of the opportunities that a lot of the other bands like
Right,
Straight
right,
Jacket,
right,
and,
right.
even Two Ton Crutch or some of those other bands at that time were getting a bit more play than we were, but. What are you gonna do, man? They could pick and choose anything that they wanted because they
But-
were selling out one of the biggest
but
venues
What,
in
what
town.
I
you
was
know?
told, what I was told was basically like their booking
Yeah.
guy was like booking them with a couple other bands,
Yeah.
and then they booked the one that I played.
Sure.
And it was great because Chad was amazing. Chad was a really nice guy. Justin, I love Justin to death. I got nothing but respect for him. Chris was great.
Yeah.
I didn't really get to talk to the other guys too much, but those three were really good, really, and but yeah, it's like I think that show was a little more diverse because it wasn't the same type of
Did you guys get a chance to see the Cameron White Underbelly thing? Did
I
you-
saw it.
I watched
I
it.
saw it.
Now let me ask you that from someone who's been. I mean, I don't know all your guys' history with drugs and
I
shit like that
have
now, but
I was very fortunate.
yeah,
I had a very supportive system behind me.
yeah,
There's no fucking way in hell I'd still be alive if if my dad hadn't forgiven me.
yeah,
And been willing to extend a hand.
Yeah.
And a couple of people in my life weren't there, I'd be fucked. Part of the problem of being on those drugs is your best friend all of a sudden becomes your worst enemy.
right,
Whether it's true or not, your brain thinks it is.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden you have nobody.
Mhm.
And in a situation like that, you're fucked.
mm-hmm.
I was 100% fortunate that I ended up the way I did. And I mean, I have medical problems, but
Yeah.
those can usually be traced back 100% to my diabetes.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that I'm not dead. I'm also very fortunate that I didn't turn out like Cameron did.
Yeah.
I knew him a little bit, never got to meet him.
Yeah.
But I remember fucking seeing American Head Charge at the Red Sea when they had that blonde chick with shaving cream tits dancing for him.
Yep, that's a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Trepidation.
Yeah.
Yep.
And,
I think it's even before that.
Yeah.
And I
That was before
remember,
that.
I
That might have been when
remember
they were Flux.
Yeah, that
I
was
remember-
that was
that
close.
was right at the very beginning. And
Yeah.
I remember Dave Rogers.
Yep.
Because my friend Seth was very close friends with Dave.
Yep.
So I heard a lot of that stuff, but I was never an active part of the music scene. I tried,
Right.
but then I got married and my life got kind of fucked up.
Right.
Music wasn't a big part of what I could do at that point.
Yeah.
But then I kept trying and I ended up homeless and this happened and that happened. So I had to wait until later in my life. But I think if he decides to take advantage of all of the help that was branched out to him after that episode came out, I think he's got a chance.
I seen a picture of him today, and it was just a shot of him with a cane, cleaned up, mohawk, clear face,
Yeah.
looking up instead of
Instead of the down.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's hope, man. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
good. That's
I just,
good,
you know,
'cause-
when you see something like that, and I just brought it up like the last podcast we were talking about. I had the opportunity to play with those guys, and being around them for so many years, and them knowing I had Chad on the podcast, and we've been tight. You're not tight, but we've been friends throughout this
Yeah.
all the years, and you know, for Cameron to actually say, hey, would you want to come and sing a song with me? I was like, holy fuck, you know. And when we were practicing, you know, going there and we did like 2 practices, and you know, the first time I went there, everybody's setting things up, and it's Karma and Benji and Justin, and you know, Jordan's playing bass for him, and everybody's kind of getting everything together. And we're in the old studio that I played in, was my studio, you know, so I was comfortable. I sat down, and you know, dude's in there for a little bit, and then he was gone for like 45 minutes, and then I'll, you know, and like, where the fuck did he, you know, go? And he comes in, you know, and he's, you know, not there. But what blew me away was as soon as the music came on. You know, it was like it flipped, man. And I saw something that, you know, the true greatness of a musician can the muscle memory kicks in without being there or not. You know what I'm saying? And the way that he sounded coming out of that, you know what I mean? It was really eye opening. I saw him in the video. I partied with him. And I went to this night that we were all together. And then in 2004, I just got busted for some shit. I was about to go to jail for 4 years. I was doing all this shit. I met my wife that night. That night is the same night that I asked him if he'd get me some heroin. I pulled a $4,000 knot of money out of my pocket. I was in his fucking long suit, fucking hat. I looked like a pimp. And I said to him, we can get high until this is gone. You know, I want to get high. Let's do it. And we were doing blow the whole night. So I was taking him up into the bedroom, getting him high, and then we'd go get fucked up, drinking whatever. And I kept begging him, and he told me no. And I remember telling Chad that, and Chad goes, "Dude, I would have put you on that track and burnt you all the way up." And he's like, "You're lucky." And I always thought, I called Cameron a pussy for that shit. I was like, "You're a fucking pussy," and he was like, "I can't do that to you, man. You don't understand." And he just said, "I can't do that to you. I care about you."
I actually have a kind of a story that's kind of like that. Yeah. My late wife Sarah had a painkiller addiction due to the fact that she had severe Crohn's disease.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons. The other reason she had an addiction.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me some really good opium.
Yeah.
And like it was only like 2 grams of it, but I was smoking it with my weed.
Yeah.
She started to notice that I was liking it a bit too much.
Yeah.
She asked me to come over. I went over to her place. And she's like, "Hey, baby," punches me in the face. Now, you got to realize she's 5'4", maybe 120 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Just tiny, petite little woman. Did she hurt me? No.
Right.
It was the shock of getting punched by her.
Right.
And she's like, sit there. She's like, you're gonna finish that shit off. You're never touching it again.
Right.
I don't want you fucking anywhere near it.
Right.
I need somebody here in this relationship that has their head on their shoulders because I'm a junkie.
Yeah.
That's somebody saving your fucking life.
Yeah.
My wife saved me from going down that path because she saw what was going on. You know, so what Cameron did with you, at the time, it may have seemed a little, you know, like, oh, you're a pussy.
Yeah.
No, he saved your ass.
No,
He saved your
agree,
ass.
I agree.
And that's
I agree.
literally what
I
happened
agree.
to me. So it was, you know, yeah.
That's what he told his old lady. He
Right.
never smoked it again. But when he moved out, I found fucking open suppositories in his room.
Hey,
What I told you I was boofing that shit, man. I boofed so hard I woke myself up. No, no, but what he did for you was probably the best thing he could have done for you.
I agree with
You
the
know.
person in here, man. They said Cam had an incredible voice. It's good to hear he's hopefully getting better. I agree with you, man. I can only put out into the sphere, the world, you know, that, you know, you want, dude, every birthday I would send him a happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not only the not giving me heroin that night, but when I first met him, you know, we partied together, and he was actually, all he did was smoke weed, and he pulled me aside and brought me up to his apartment and said some really, really nice things to me about my playing and about my being in the scene for as long as I had and whatnot. And so I always really held anything that happened with me and him very special.
Right.
When they got signed, you know, they got a bunch of advance money, and I was dealing at the time, and I gave him some drugs, and the money didn't come through, and I didn't get my money. I ran into him at a Tool show, and I said some pretty harsh shit to him, and, you know, threatened to punch him in the fucking mouth a couple times. And, you know, I was like, "You're not really my friend. You just used me for my drugs," you know? And that's the case. That's how it is when you're a drug dealer. That's what happens. So, you know, I shouldn't be mad at him about it, you know? And years had passed and all this shit, but I love the dude. I wish him nothing but the best, man, and all the hope, man. It's just it's tough to see a dude that went so far in this thing, man. That all of the great things and all the great opportunities that probably happened to him, he was actually able to capitalize on the cool things like that keeps coming up in our conversations. You know, sometimes you get a chance to capitalize on those things.
And I mean,
And that brings into my head being a recovered addict.
Yeah.
And I was on those drugs. Fuck, man, had I known that I could have been in a band that people actually would have fucking liked back then, I probably never would have stuck a fucking needle in my arm.
Right.
But I figured, well, fuck, I'm not going to be able to do this, and I got to be responsible to be my kid. And then they used a bunch of bullshit against me, and I wasn't able to see my kid. And all of a sudden, in order to see my son, I had to have my fucking parents there all the time and shit. And it had nothing to do with me ever hurting my kid.
Right.
It had to do with me arguing with my wife.
Right.
And the bullshit that I had to put up with in there and stuff, man. And it was, so I understand because I never felt like I had anywhere to turn.
Right.
And I could fucking pump that dope in my fucking arm, and all of a sudden every fucking problem I had was, it's gone.
well, one
I
thing
don't
about
feel like an idiot anymore. This is all gone.
Yeah.
one thing about the video, the White Underbelly video, was I think the hardest thing for me to watch is this guy that had immense talent.
Yeah.
Has
Yeah.
immense talent.
Yep.
And even when he was using back in the day, he always looked, he had weight on him. You know, he looked, like weight-wise healthy.
Yeah.
Seeing him like that, skinny, and just it was really hard to watch. It really was, because here's this guy that, everybody, whether you loved him or hate him, you could not deny the fact that this guy had talent and charisma.
Oh yeah.
And he's a wonderful vocalist.
Right.
I mean, it's really hard to watch that.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to watch because, you know people that have been in addiction and hard addiction like that. And I wish him the best.
Mhm.
I would really love for him to get permanently sober and get back to music, because he's amazing.
Yeah.
But right now I just hope for him to get sober and get well and get back to who he was.
I agree with you,
That's
man.
that's literally all I want for the guy.
How can people get a hold of your material?
Facebook, Mommy Says No. We're on most of the streaming services: YouTube, Spotify, Amazon.
I was actually able to. Now I know when a local band a regional band has gone, has been there a long time, is when you can go and do your little your stories. You push the thing and you put and then you search the band's name, and if their shit pops up in Facebook, like legitimately you have your shit everywhere. Because if I could find one of your songs, and I found multiples, I'm like, yes, cool. Because sometimes you can't, you know what I mean? Like, they haven't been around that long if you can't find their shit on Facebook.
If you can't find it on Facebook, there's fucking B movies you'll find us on the soundtracks for too. You know, so. And which I think we've got new songs coming out, and another one called "Get That Dick" that Josh that put out The Good Exorcist, and won that thing with the
Rebel Without a Crew.
Yeah,
Rebel Without a Crew from Robert Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez did this movie contest and gave him the money to make a movie. And
$7,000.
he made this movie called The Good Exorcist, and he used our music in it and made the video for the song I wrote called Midnight Movie.
Nice.
Where there's nobody at the show when we were videotaping the show. And his buddy, who was the Good Exorcist, dressed up like a priest, comes in, and the fucking bar's like empty, had like 4 people in it. He's fucking moshing like a priest and shit, and that's that video.
Yeah.
And then it's included, like if you get the DVD, they included the video on there and stuff. And our music
Of him moshing around to the music? That's fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
Our we're in trauma movies and stuff now. Well, The Good Exorcist actually became a real trauma movie, but we also have a song called Trauma Palooza where I basically just name drop every trauma movie.
That's awesome.
And then like just recently, like the I Miss the Ramones that you'll find on Spotify and Amazon and YouTube and stuff was mentioned in a book about the Ramones. These guys were sitting around drinking at a bar in England and said, I wonder how many bands have written songs about the Ramones.
And from that idea, this guy went and wrote this fucking 400-page book. And our songs fucking were on like page 452 or something for our song called I Miss the Ramones.
That's
So,
awesome.
As funny as it is that we're, you know, a Minnesota band, that we're lucky sometimes if 10 people are at our shows,
Sure.
but that's Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've been heard, you know, around the world, and I used to have a buddy who wrote for a website called Uber Rock over
Yeah.
in England that I
Sure.
would send our stuff to all the time. And Gaz we got the Uber Rock stamp of approval on like
Nice.
3 of our albums, and me being, you know, not being a person with a lot of self-esteem and shit, seeing that this album that I bought that I just love from this band I've been listening to for 10 years didn't get that stamp. Oh, fuck yeah, we made it.
That's dope, man.
You know,
That's
but
really cool, man.
We didn't like we're still all broke as hell, and we're hitchhiking
Right.
to shows and calling our buddies and
Right.
go, what are you doing tonight? Can you give us a ride to the show?
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
I was
like,
going to come to your show. Well, hey, how about you just get in with us?
Yeah,
Carry
come
this
on.
shit. Yeah.
Carry this
yeah.
shit.
We'll
Give me a
give you our
ride.
drink tickets because
Yeah.
Jeff can't drink anymore.
Right,
Here.
there you go. Oh, yeah, dude. Wait, did we just get the fucking guy who gave us a ride here drunk? Yeah. Fuck. Can you drive?
That happened to us before.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
I gave the guy that was driving us and roading us the drink tickets, and he got pulled over and his car impounded. on the
Oh,
way home.
Jesus. So tell me about this last tune, FCS.
That stands for French cough syrup. I brought it up earlier when I talked about going sober. Jeff Dahl being one of my idols and one of my favorite bands and stuff. I kind of used a little bit of the inspiration behind Tromapalooza and the I Miss the Ramones song. I wanted to write him some kind of a tribute for being an inspiration, but I didn't want to be straight up the same as the other songs.
Yeah.
So the last verse name drops every song on his French Cough Syrup album. And I didn't want to call the song French Cough Syrup, so
Yeah.
I just called it FCS. But I've already sent it to him and everything. And basically, it's a song that I originally wrote when I was struggling with my heroin addiction and methamphetamines and stuff. Because, fuck, man, the picture on his French Cough Syrup album is him sitting in a fucking chair like this.
Yeah.
I used to sit like that, too, because of that fucking album cover, you know?
Yeah.
Well, he also helped me get off of the shit. So it's like, well, fucking, I got to do a tribute of some kind. So we came up with this fucking cool FCS song, and instead of calling it French Cough Syrup, I just decided, let's call it FCS.
Very cool, man.
People are going to be like, what the fuck does this say? Fucking cocksucker.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you guys for coming in and doing the show. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having us.
Taking your
Thanks for having
time
us,
to
man.
come and hang out on a Friday. I know it's fucking.
Well, it's
I'm on the other side of town.
God, I think the last time it was that Apple River thing that we played a show with one of your bands. That
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
been when you were in
Apple
Outside the
River
Murder.
That was a long time
Yeah.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. Holy shit. That was a
Like-
fun party. Holy shit.
Who was our was Tom?
No, it was that tall kid. with
Oh
the-
yeah,
with
it was that one.
Dominic.
Yeah, that one guy. Yeah. Oh my
Dominic.
God. Yeah.
The tall kid.
The tall
I
kid.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, Sideshow Bob here.
Well, fucking thanks for coming to do the show.
Thanks for
Thanks,
having
thanks
us.
everybody for listening and checking in on the chat. I appreciate it. We're gonna listen to some cough syrup, dude. Some French cough syrup. That's what we're gonna do. Some fucking cocksucker. Make sure you check out Mommy Says No on all the streaming sites, Facebook, and all the other happy stuff to get a hold of them. Make sure you book them. Fucking show up at their shows.
Yeah.
Make sure you buy some shit.
We're booking again, and if you book us in the cities, we might be able to take light rail to our show.
Woo! There you go. Amps and light rail all in one.
I got old. I use combo amps
There
now.
you go. we're gonna choke down this fucking French cough syrup. Y'all, thank you for joining us, man. Join me next week. I got Jason from Lowbrow Saints coming in, and we're gonna talk lots of shit. So it'll be fun. Thanks again for coming in, boys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers, everybody.